Special Operations, Covert Ops, Espionage, The Team House, with your hosts, Jack Murphy and David Park.
On the mic, there we go.
There you go.
Hi, guys. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. So here we are. We are in, let's see, this thing started at 7:30 and it is like 10:45 almost. So, yeah, we're well into our cups.
Oh, yeah.
For the Christmas party.
And this is streaming, guys. You just sit around.
But people can't see the actual, like, action taking place.
Yeah, we'll spin the camera.
All right.
Last year.
We was talking about this year, maybe.
Okay, cool. Yeah. What's wrong? Soft Day is
Is Dave's asleep? No, Dave's not asleep. He's right across from me over here. You want to be on the stream? You can come sit down and answer some questions. Look, here's Mr. Park coming in a frame. Which camera? Is it that camera?
It's this camera.
Okay.
We
still can't see Dave.
No, it's delayed, man.
Oh, that's why. Okay.
That's the-
There he. Oh, there he is.
Sorry, guys.
There he is.
Jack's first day.
Proof of life. Proof of life. Big Greek energy solving problems.
Y'all picked a hell of a time to go live. You know it. What's up, guys? Gals? There are two female viewers.
Thank you for joining us for this ridiculousness. This is like I feel like I'm a Twitch streamer now. You know, I'm here like
Flash some boob.
yeah. Do a few buttons here. No, I'm not that many drinks in.
No.
Yeah,
Give me another hour or two.
mildly sober at this point.
Yeah. Are you're sobering up? No, you got the you. So hold on, I should show them. They might get a kick out of the fuck you.
Oh, they want to. Oh, am I in your way?
Yeah, I'm just going to pass through real quick.
Jack,
So-
they want a live reaction to Assad passing. Yeah.
Okay, we'll get to that. But first there's more important things to talk about. All right, so I got 2 whiskeys the other day for this party. And one of them, I hope you can see here, is fuck, F-U-K. And I'm sure that's not how it's actually pronounced in Japanese, but I'm an American, I have no idea. So it says fuck for me. And then the other whiskey I got is called you. Why you? So together, these 2 whiskeys say fuck you.
I thought it was you fuck.
You fuck, it could be. You could switch it around, and it could be you fuck. Yeah, why not?
You fucking fuck.
Dave and I are both drinking you right now. I tried fuck. It was not my thing.
No?
No, I decided no. But the you is there. Yeah. So let's see here. Show us some 40K stuff. I don't have any 40K stuff. I have D&D stuff that we can be total nerds and show you that. Oh, is that the Twitch streamer girl? Amaranth?
Oh yeah, I've heard the name.
Oh, I thought that was a liquor. That's not a liquor? Wait, amaranth is a liquor, right?
I think you're thinking of like absinthe.
No, I know absinthe. I love absinthe. But I thought amaranth was like some hoity, like liquor, a liqueur. Is that really a person?
Yeah, I think that's a streamer girl,
Yeah, it is.
and I think she shifts food. We got nothing on that. We got nothing on that. This is a bro stream.
Yeah.
Yeah, Milburn isn't here to go shirtless. I'm sorry, guys. I apologize for that. I know you guys want to see the pepperonis. We'll have to wait for
Andy to come on.
Andy, his Commonwealth ass on this stream. Yeah, cat ears would definitely help the streamer vibe. Totally agree with that. Yeah, everyone has their pants on. Dimitri is posting inappropriate things in chat. Calm down in chat. Oh, hot tub. There's requests for a hot tub stream. Now, we've done some crazy stuff and stupid stuff in the studio, but we have not set up a hot tub. For this party, we did clear out like a big area so we can lay out pizzas and stuff like that. And you could, with a little bit of work, you could maybe put a hot tub in, maybe.
Well, we could just heat your fish tank. It's big enough.
It is heated. The fish tank is heated.
There you go. We're in it.
It's a nice 80 degrees. And
So you didn't like the
fuck? No. I never want to fuck again. Oh, okay. So
Is this whiskey? It's super,
yeah, it's whiskey.
super like light.
It has like kind of like a fruity aftertaste to it. I mean, maybe you'll like it. Give it a shot.
Oh, we just lost our stream.
Whoa. That's.
Hey D, why'd we D? We just lost our signal.
I can see the light. Well, the light for the computer is on. And if you look there, we're still streaming. Okay, there we are. I think that maybe the monitor turned off. That's weird. I've never seen it do that. So yeah, live reaction to Bashir al-Assad potentially being killed in a airplane crash. Like, I just saw that. Like we're having a Christmas party here, and so like I'm hearing about like the fall of Damascus while I'm having a party with friends of the show, and Ian's
I've seen if you lost.
Ian Scotto is here from Battle Line Podcast.
If anyone remembers who I am.
People definitely remember
Well,
who you are.
as like he said over there, people know me from the intro.
Yes, that's
I'm just saying what you said.
So Ian is the voice of the intro for the Team House. So when you hear special operations, covert ops, that's Ian. You're my boy, Blue. We can only see like from like the neck. It's like
duck
cut
down.
off.
Yeah,
you
no,
have
I
to
see
duck,
right over here. I have
duck
to
way down.
Go right over here.
We should actually bring.
Someone does know me. It says Kimsey. I feel like I know the name.
People know
He was
you,
someone
man.
from soccer.
We need to bring you guys some chairs over here so you're not popping a squat. Working those quads.
So my prediction with Syria is Welcome to Yugoslavia Part 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there are people who know me. I'll sit down.
So yeah, like long story short, I'm just like learning all this stuff on the news as you guys are, and like seeing stuff come in, and I mean it sounds kind of crazy that like Assad's on an airplane that just like is suddenly shot down over Lebanon or Syria, somewhere in that area.
Here. Will I be on over here? I think so.
We can back the camera up though if you.
I think we're good.
You know, as
You're not seen.
Well, there's a delay. There we go. Yeah, you can see that.
there you go.
If you guys
So,
want
like-
to look at the feedback, it's this right
Yeah,
here.
As you guys know, like first reports are often wrong. But I mean, what's going on in Syria itself is not fake news. I mean, these cities are collapsing, and it looks like the rebels are moving on Damascus, and the Russians are pulling out and heading for the hills here. So, yeah, I mean, it's hard to see how this ends in any like good way.
So I do remember Chris Kimsey, but you would not be my friend on Facebook because I haven't been on Facebook for years at this point. But that is so funny that I heard a voice that sounded like a mixture of Velvet and the golden rays of the sun. I love it. Amazing. Thank you, Andrew
Honestly,
Dunbar.
like, you know, our intro is iconic. We almost changed it at one point.
We thought about it.
Well, you know what's so funny? Like, I remember early on, half the feedback was that they loved the intro, and then half was like, "This is the cheesiest sounding intro."
We
Fuck
still
it.
get- we
I
still
love the
get that.
podcast, but I hate this fucking intro.
We still get the cheesy stuff, but it's grown on everybody.
Well,
It's iconic.
Jack told me to
I did.
use a voice like that. And I think I sent one that was just like my regular voice,
Yeah.
and he was like, be a little bit more dramatic about it. And I like it. I thought it came out cool. And if you didn't like it, fuck you.
Yeah, no, I mean, I loved it, but I'm biased. I'm pretty biased about it, I guess. I think it does have like a cheesy. I can see why people think that and see that, but like a little bit of that is like intentional. Like the idea I had in my mind is that it's like a Saturday morning cartoon that they all had an introduction.
Sure.
And it like outlines in 30 seconds.
Wait.
what-
So you're sitting here telling
telling a whole tens of people
that you hired Ian because you wanted a cheesy intro. Ian, how do you feel about that?
Yeah.
Well, you told me you wanted that voice. I'm trying to think of how it sounds, because what's the first thing I say?
Special operation.
Operations.
Covert ops.
Espionage. Yeah. But that's the tone that he wanted. Yeah, and like any client
good,
that I've
yeah.
done
Yeah, it's
has
good.
said, like if I read something that's for a healthcare company, they just want a calm tone.
Right.
Something like this. That's what you want. And yeah, I think it's, and I do like that the feedback here is positive. I'm surprised, like, whoa,
Uh-oh.
that's not good.
It just
We're
happened
still
again.
streaming. Hey, did we just lose a
See, the stream is still going.
Where's our breaker box at?
No, we didn't lose that.
Well, if I'm still being
There it
heard,
is.
But this went. Why did it go to sleep? That's fucking
Yeah, I don't know why that's going on.
so if we haven't lost us,
No, we're still.
I think it's cool that people care about the intro and like it, and yeah, man, I think it is cool that it sets the tone for the show.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, like, yeah, it's a little cheesy, but it grows on people over time.
But the thing is,
Over the course of 315 episodes,
The-
they
the
have a
thing-
familiarity with it.
I like it because I'm cheesy. So, like for me, it works. Like, and the thing is we don't take ourselves that seriously. Like,
No, and no one
you know what I
should
mean?
take themselves super seriously.
So, yeah, but I love it. I don't
Oh,
think
I
I
do
don't think
too.
it's
I like-
cheesy. For anybody who thinks it's cheesy, Jack, I think Ian is a consummate professional, and I'm all in favor of it.
So the intro stays.
The intro stays.
We have debated internally about where should we have a new intro done, and if there's a voiceover, you would still be doing.
Oh, that'd be cool.
I would
It
I
was
would come
between
back.
you
to
and an unnamed hot British chick. Well, we don't know
the
if
one who
she's
did
hot.
the one who did soft
We
rap.
don't know if she's hot. We're just like a British chick.
I have the name of the one who did soft rap. If you ever wanted.
I remember
but
her, the Laura Croft voice.
Yeah, Cara O'Brien. She's a really good voice actor.
Yeah, it could have just been an American female with a British
Yeah.
accent.
Yeah.
No, this
she was American.
This chat solidifies it. Ian is our ride or die for the
Yeah.
intro.
If you change the intro, I'm going covert. I love these responses.
I like Scotto does the intro. It harkens back to Jack's soft rep days when soft rep was a worthwhile publication. That's a deep cut, fella. Thank you, Andrew. Appreciate it, man. Dave needs a belt for winning that titter battle.
Oh, Twitter, probably with Malcolm
Twitter.
Nance.
Oh, I was like, there's a titter battle? You
Yeah.
didn't tell me
Wait,
about
Jack, what do
I'm
you
all
think of
about
the
the
whole
titter
Malcolm
battle.
Nance
that?
back and forth?
But like we published on SoftRep. I published when I was an editor a story that I think he was himself a Navy crypto linguist.
He was a CTI.
And so he was very familiar with Malcolm Nance and some of the fabrications and some of the reality behind it. And so I mean, yeah, this stuff has been out there, but it's one of these scenarios or one of these situations where, like the other case that we both know about, Wayne Simmons,
yeah.
Now Nance really did serve in the military, and
Sure.
Wayne did not serve at all. Well, okay, I should.
He was in the Navy for what?
Two
like
weeks. Yeah. But and you can see the whole thing going on with Tim Kennedy right now. That maybe some people get out over their skis and brand themselves as something that maybe they're not.
I didn't know about that.
About who?
Tim Kennedy?
There's a big drama going on right now.
Yeah, I didn't know about it.
Yeah.
But the Malcolm Nance stuff with you, I mean, it just has. I would like to see Malcolm Nance on the team house.
But Malcolm Nance will never. You know, he always throws down that $25,000 or $10,000, whatever. He always throws down like a bet, that that I can prove all these things that I've said. And obviously, it's a barrier of entry, right? Like I don't have $25,000 now. Maybe there are wealthy veterans out there, veterans who have actually made something of their lives after they left the service, who do have that $25,000 and DM me and say, I'll back this bet. And then that $25,000 goes to escrow, goes to a neutral party that Malcolm designated. And now Malcolm won't send his $25,000.
He should just want to go on to prove himself. Yeah. If he was being legit,
any real person would.
Yeah.
And anybody who had nothing to hide would.
Sure.
Like $25,000, of course they would. I would.
But just in general, if someone says that you did not do
shouldn't
something
take
you
20
did,
yeah.
you would be like, get me on this fucking podcast
Yeah.
so I can tell you my credentials and make you look like an asshole.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So let's see. Anyone else doom scrolling Syria? Apparently, yes. Is Adam next? I'm not sure which Adam you're talking about, man. Adam White is on his way here, and I will do my damnedest to get that wild man on the stream if and when he shows up.
He's weird because I actually I tried to get him on Battle Line, and he'll be like,
Setting on it?
oh, I want to come on, it'd be great. And then a few weeks later, he'll be like, you know what, I don't really want to come on. And I'm like, all right. Adam White I'm talking about.
Yeah. Adam's on his way. Thank you for the Whiskey Fund Sriracha. Here we go. Cough Grand Thumb. There's more drama there. Like guys, I'm trying to avoid like the vet bro drama. Like
I don't know anything about the Grand Thumb.
I'm a 41-year-old man living in Brooklyn. I don't really have time for this kind of shit.
He's got plenty of drama at his local cafe.
Yeah, yes sir. That's accurate. Malcolm Nance, where are the boys at? The boys are here. This is a broadcast after all. I figured Dave had 25K after selling all those feet pics.
Those went to a those went to a charity.
That went to like
Yeah.
Doctors Without Borders.
Yeah. It went to Mercenaries Without Borders.
Grand Thumb needs to stop having women problems. Guys, I'm not even gonna go
And
there.
if you're a man, you're gonna have women problems.
Yeah. If you guys, I liked you guys having McCloskey back on. Curious if the CIA have taken advantage of any of this past week. I mean, I guess you're talking about Syria. I don't know. For Jack and Dave, which one of you would be Smokey and which one would be the Bandit?
I'd be the bandit. Jack is far more legit than I am.
I'm part of the
Sit down here, yeah.
I'm part of the Square community at this point.
Actually, Jack would probably be bandit, and I would be red. Jerry Reed, what was his call sign?
Wahona donated to Dave Waterhouse's Faster Further organization last
Thank you
night.
very much.
Yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
They're doing cool stuff, and I hope you guys will go and check out that documentary. It's called Ranger.
Yeah.
And you can find it on Amazon Prime. And we watched it last night before the interview. It's cool.
It's good.
It's really good. Are you guys going to do a gaming stream soon? Not tonight. Sorry,
Wait,
guys.
what kind of gaming? Like D&D or like online first-person shooter stuff. And the answer to both of them is no.
But you guys do love your role-playing games.
Yeah, we do. We did Call of Cthulhu once, and then we did D&D once.
Yeah.
It's too nerdy for me. I had to check out of all that.
Can we make that chat box bigger?
I
So
saw-
we don't even see the
Good question.
I don't think you can on this.
Probably right.
Can you pop it out?
I did see someone asked when could we buy We Defy in hard copy.
Oh, okay. So yeah, December 9th, 2 days from now, the book will be released on the Amazon page. You'll be able to get it in paperback or the digital version of it. So that's the answer to the question.
Yeah.
That is, okay. It doesn't. I need it like magnified for my old eyes.
Do you want to sit here?
No, it's okay. Sorry.
You can sit here. You
No,
want
it's
to
okay.
switch with me? I'll just stay on a few more minutes anyway, but
Yeah, maybe.
No,
then we
Ian.
can
Love you, man.
we can bring other people in.
yeah, no, exactly.
Can we zoom this?
Maybe if you zoom in the screen itself, so that the text is gonna get
How do we do that?
There would be.
like on top of it's macro.
No, it's
If you hit control and scroll up,
yeah.
I think that might work.
Control and scroll up.
Yeah,
This is,
I've done that before, I
Maybe
think.
like control and side.
No. It's not.
Jack and Dave do a Shadowrun
No.
game. That would be cool. Yeah,
I actually bought a new. I haven't even opened it, but I bought a new TTRPG that just came out. But Shadowrun would be fun.
K-Jam, yeah, we're going to have Tim Weiner back on when his new book comes out. Definitely, I'll be in touch with him about that, and we'll work that out for sure. I've been talking to Tim off and on just a little bit about the process he's been going through to write that book, and it's I think it's going to be cool.
Oh, there you go, there
I'm
you
excited to read it myself.
That works. She got it.
What's next for the
Oh,
hot?
that's perfect. Can you hit the maximize up top?
You
No,
just
it's
put
gonna
the-
take out the whole screen though.
That's what he wants.
I wanted to.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah.
And you don't want to see yourself?
No.
No, because he can see himself on there, so. Yeah, that makes
So
sense.
Thanks, brother.
so what's
It's all
next?
her. Thank her.
Oh, thank you. That's
Brilliant.
You, sister.
So what's next on the high side is Havana Syndrome. And Sean and I are hard at work at that. And I have the draft is like 25 pages long. So we're going to split it probably into two pieces, two parts. And I hope we're going to publish that in the next like week or two. It's been a long, that was a heavy lift, I won't lie. It's one of the most difficult stories I've worked on. They did D&D a month or two ago. Yeah, that episode 300 is a D&D game. Andrew, any thoughts as increasing the number of historians on the stream?
Yes, we're having Malcolm Nance on,
This noted historian and scholar.
historian of everything current.
We're open-minded to historians for sure. If there's any like you'd want to put us in touch with, we can work on that.
This is awkward when there's not a good question on here and we're just sitting in silence.
That's okay. We can just sit here and drink.
Ask us some questions, you bastards.
Yeah, ask Ian your like questions about music, about.
Oh wait,
life,
that's because we didn't scroll
love.
down. All right, so that's just Jumbo, yeah. Is that what they're looking for?
Egan, thank you. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, really appreciate
Yeah,
it.
do I have to keep scrolling down or no?
No, it should-
we're good.
It looks
Okay.
like it's all the way down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, switch it from top chat to live chat.
That's what it is. That's
It
that's
doesn't
the
always
fucking
change
suck.
it,
Yeah.
but sometimes.
Now we're good. I
Cool,
think.
cool.
Yeah. Best sandwich. See, we have a question.
Man. Okay, go ahead, Ian.
Oh, best. I don't know. Off the top of my head, I mean, it'd be like pretty boring. Like I like to get like turkey with some
What the
spinach,
hell?
cheddar.
Turkey's not even a real meat.
Oh boy, you just triggered Dave.
Turkey-
You have no
For a
idea what you
sandwich,
just
for like a
told me.
deli sandwich.
For anything, like you have turkey if the only other option is cabbage, like
See if there's
fermented cabbage.
other
then you
questions
get
that we
turkey.
missed or no?
No, I think we're good.
Okay. Oh, what about signed copies of the book? There's a question for you.
At this point, I'm not doing signed copies of the book. Maybe in the future.
Why, you're too high in demand? You can't sign copies to the fans?
I mean, I would love to. It just is. I don't have any like centralized distribution, so I have to go to the.
See, these are the questions I get whenever I'm here with you guys, and there's not really anything that crazy. Where it's like, Scotto, what was the craziest thing you dealt with at Soft Rep that was funny? Like,
Tell them about the Christmas party.
well, we spoke about
with the mermaid.
Oh, I think you were gonna say there were like women who were paid to like show up and look hot, and
Yeah.
I don't know if they were hookers. I don't
Russian,
know what they
and I say this charitably. Russian models. There's about 100 of them at that Christmas party.
here's
That
the weird
was
thing.
nuts.
Yeah.
That was nuts.
Here's the weird thing though, when you say like the craziest thing with Sofrep that you dealt with, like I genuinely still kind of get along with whether it's you or I spoke to Brandon like a year ago. I don't know if people want me to, but I don't hate anybody. Like we just had Jason Lyons here, who we all know and love. I'm really cool with everybody for the most part. Actually, there was that one guy I didn't like who was a dick, and I don't even remember his name. The guy who interviewed, what was his? We interviewed that guy who worked with Trump. You know who I'm talking about. He's on Alex Jones all the time.
God.
You know who I'm talking about, but I can't. He's like QAnon. He was a military advisor.
I don't know. I mean, we had a lot of people went through those doors over the course of just the time I was there anyway, for like 8 years. And I would say it's like half and half for me. It's like there are people I'm still like Alex Hollings,
Yeah, he's
you, Jason, like people I'm very good friends with. But there were some people that came through those doors that I had fallings out with. That I don't feel that it's necessary to go through all the drama.
No, of course,
all these years later. But yeah, there are some folks that I don't really talk to today.
Who is it that I interviewed though? Now it's killing me. Like, is it General? What? It'll come to me.
Can you turn the camera and show us the party? Yeah, I think so.
This is just killing me. You know, like when you think of something and then you forget who you interviewed.
Yeah, I forget everything.
It'll come to me. It'll come to me.
Oh, it's a Christmas party. Look at all these people.
But let me just tell you, if I told you the name of the company who's in charge,
Hold on, is that Adam?
you know
Coming through the door? Oh, it's Dimitri. There he is.
This will come to me.
it sounds like they're being big brothers.
What? Can we scroll up to see what the other questions are? Scroll up. Keep going up. I think we up more. Yeah. Let's hear. Give me ham over turkey. Right on. Favorite Married with Children episode.
Oh,
Can I-
all the episodes with No Ma'am. You remember that his men's rights organization?
Yeah.
No Ma'am.
yeah, that was great. Those were great. I thought that the shoe emergency hotline. The shoe emergency hotline one.
Where the fat women are trying to get them to put their shoes on.
Yes.
I'm a size 4.
Yeah. That's a great show. I should go back and watch that. Tell Ian to sing his famous.
I saw that.
I love Crash Test Dummies.
I
man.
just remember that. I know that one song, of course.
Won't You Come to My Funeral is like the jam. That was like the dark listening during the GY. Any regrets about having renowned child? Missed that. I thought this was in a legit bar.
This is killing me who I interviewed, and you know who I'm talking about. He worked with Trump. He was a military guy. He showed up to a dinner that Vladimir Putin was at, and also Jill Stein was there. We had him on Sofrep. I interviewed him. He's on Alex Jones regularly.
You're talking about Mike Flynn.
Yeah, General Flynn, right? Yeah. Who did I interview him with on Sofrep?
Probably Eric.
Yes. What was his name again?
Eric. Yeah.
Eric who, though?
Jones.
Yes, that guy was a dick. that's what I'm saying. That's the only guy from soccer who I genuinely just thought was a dick.
He's a good guy. But
No, he was a dick.
He's a little grumpy.
No, he was a douche. I remember he was like, if I disagreed with that guy on something, he was like, I remember him saying this to me. He was like, go spin a record. You're just a DJ. You don't fucking know anything. And I'm like, all right, fuck this guy. So he's the only guy at Sofrep that I will say I think was a douche, and I still think is a douche. Everyone else I'm cool with. And other people have like broken my balls. Like BK has been a dick to me, but like I like him.
BK is a dick to everyone.
Yeah, that's just his personality. But Eric Jones is a dick. That's strictly from me. You guys may love him, but yeah.
I don't think I know him. Preferred Vampire Slayer, Buffy or Faith? Wait, who's Faith?
Well, my preferred Vampire Slayer is Vampire Hunter D, of course.
Blade.
Blade is good too.
By the way, I'll let someone else sit here in that 2
I don't know
minutes.
who Faith is.
I'm enjoying this for now, but yeah, well, Jones company man name. He was very well. Yeah, you don't even know what I'm talking about, but that guy was just a dude. BK is always just a fun guy. Like I said, he could be a dick jokingly, and you know BK, right?
Yeah.
Like, BK will make ridiculous political points sometimes, and he'll get a little personal, but I think he's the type of guy that after a few, like talking it over, he's like, all right, we're cool. That's just how he is.
I don't know him
but
well.
Eric
I've always
Jones
had
was
great
a dick.
experiences with him, but yeah.
Michael Felmy, it's Ian. Yes, it is. I am in the house. I feel like some of these people might not even know that I do a podcast currently, that we've had Dave on. So check out Battle Line Podcast, and then they're kicking me out. So
We'll have you come back.
no, it's all good.
Guys, this is I.S. Berry, the author of
Hi.
The Peacock and the Sparrow. We had her on the show before. The camera is right there.
Hi.
And that is the camera view right there,
Oh,
what
I
what
see.
folks are seeing. So, Mrs. Berry,
Show your
Yes.
book. Tell us a little bit about your background.
So I worked for the CIA for 6 years as a case officer. Spent a year in Baghdad, 2004 to 2005. And I didn't have the greatest experience at the CIA. Lived in Bahrain after, years later during the Arab Spring, which was really fascinating and which was the inspiration for my book. But it's also based on my time at the CIA and kind of the toll that manipulation takes on you, because that's what you do as a case officer, and kind of the unpleasant things about spying. So.
this is a really good novel. I really enjoyed it, and I hope you guys will go and check it out. And check out the actual Team House episode that we did with I.S. Berry.
These guys are great. Your podcast sold me more books than any other podcast I was on.
That's bullshit, but it's nice of you to
It's
say.
100%
We appreciate that.
It's 100% true.
Questions for I.S. Berry, because I'm putting her on the spot here.
I feel woefully unprepared for this.
No, it's okay it's a stream, it's a live stream, so it's okay to be completely unprepared.
Yeah.
And for it to be ad hoc.
And also to ignore like anything you want to ignore.
These are the comments, yeah.
Bahrain Airport is weird. But, okay. Hi, Alexander.
He's Alexander Vlad the Conqueror.
Oh, when's the next book coming out?
Good question, Mr. Dimitri.
My deadline is August 1st. So sometime a year after that, maybe? Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
My ex used Selkie as her whole personality.
What the fuck is that?
Something happened.
There you go. Jack, used to mail a few of your signed books to deserving wayward souls. KJM, I appreciate it, man. Thank you. If you shoot me an email, I'll hook you up, man. All right. Well, shoot me a line. We'll get that sorted out.
What is your favorite training?
Yeah. What's your
for me?
What's your yeah? That's not for us. What's your favorite training experience?
At the agency, so at the farm, I guess would be the question. So there are basically two components to the farm. There's the psychological component where you learn how to spot, assess, develop, recruit, and then there's like the nuts and bolts, which is how to do mostly surveillance detection routes, but also like dead drops and brush passes and covert communications, and that was definitely more fun than the learning how to manipulate people, and it's basically like you hate your boss. Or that stuff wasn't.
This is Andrew's question is fun because it kind of plays into your novel. What's the most incompetent spy that you encountered that you can talk about?
It was this guy probably who in Baghdad, a guy I worked with who was trying to disguise himself, so he faked this accent every time we would meet with a source, but it would like change and it wasn't recognizable. It wasn't from any country that I could identify, and the sources would just look at him like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?"
That's a character, yeah.
Yeah.
And Adam has a question for you. Do many case officers have narcissistic personalities?
Oh, like 100%, but not me.
Wait,
I wasn't a very good case officer.
why is Adam sending in questions and not here?
God damn it.
Oh, can I say something else about incompetence?
You can say whatever you like.
Yeah, I mean, also, our disguise officers would always butcher our wigs. I mean, it's not really incompetence, but we look ridiculous in these wigs. Does CIA use human? No.
Engineering, like FBI. Wow, that's a yeah. Yeah, I don't think so, man. Let's see here.
You mean like Kim's? You mean like social engineering?
Yeah, I don't know what that
Maybe
means.
that's what
Probably social engineering. But here's the thing. But social engineering is a term that is in the cyber community because the cyber community is a bunch of engineers. Like it's basically
because of Wozniak.
I mean, I'm not sure, but basically, social engineering is how you would do like a cold approach or whatever. Like, it's like getting information.
I see.
But now it's part of the cyber world, so it has to have an engineering name. Right.
Yeah.
But it's something that's been going on forever.
Yeah.
Team House interview with CIA Master of
Are you
Disguise
talking
lady
about Jonna? I know her. I know Jonna. Yeah. She was not in the incompetent category.
Yeah.
She was a master of disguise.
Yeah,
No, I'm not talking about
Jonna was super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was your favorite place you traveled to for work?
Probably Albania.
That's cool.
Yeah. Have you been to Albania?
No, I haven't.
It's really interesting, and it's like
I've been to Serbia.
I feel like it's
Where?
Albania.
Albania?
Yeah, I feel like it kind of gets short shrift, but it's really an up and coming country.
What's up, Adam?
Is that buddy?
Hey, I know you.
Adam, how are you? What's going on?
Nice to meet you.
I will let IS Berry out of the hot seat in a moment here.
Oh, okay.
I spam my ass. Like, I always tag her and everything.
That doesn't surprise me at all, Adam.
Okay, what's the question?
Does the CIA use DTS for travel? That's the defense travel system. I think that's just the military, man. Where is Dave from? Can't figure out his accent. The way he says leg and measure cracked me up.
So let me say something about measure.
Measure.
I'm from the Midwest. I have a perfect accent.
I was like, what major is he talking about? What are you saying?
I have gotten shit about this, man.
Are you reading that word measure?
Measure. Like, I have been getting shit about the fact that other people don't say major right my entire life. Major. How do you guys say
I mean, that's a
major?
rank in the military.
No, major.
He's saying measure,
I know, but it sounds.
but he's saying it's okay. We all have. I have a little bit of a speech impediment too. I think
It's
sometimes.
not my fault the rest of America says that wrong.
Okay, last question for I.S. Berry. She's been a good sport. I appreciate.
so unprepared.
Redacted wants to know if I can ask. Can we ask? Has she ever worked with or met Billy Wong? Okay. Yeah.
Sorry.
Dave is great. Thank you for
Thank
coming
you.
on the show. And guys, please go and check out her book, The Peacock and the Sparrow, and we'll have you back on
That
the
would be
stream when the next book comes
would be
out.
awesome.
You know, it's probably be like a year from now.
Like 2 years.
Okay. I'll be back. I'll find somebody else to come and have the hot seat.
It's not my fault. Nobody knows how to say major.
What's up, fuckers?
Yeah, it's a great book. You know, I think it's really. There are probably like I'm not a big spy thriller or military thriller reader, but I think that there's a lot of great things that happen when somebody who is actually in special operations or in the CIA writes a book about those, you know, organizations or about that kind of world, because they can add details and, you know, things based on personal experience that a writer that, you know, is just sort of making it up, you know, cannot capture. Colin Quinn, the comedian Colin Quinn.
I mean, he lives in Brooklyn. I know that. I don't know what Colin Quinn would be good on this show though.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, he's fucking funny. He does some history stuff.
Yeah.
But
I mean, we could always do like a spin-off channel of just like call it random shit.
yeah, I can't do another podcast. What do I enjoy more? Team House? It's Team House, bro.
Can you get Colin Quinn on?
What are we talking
Great
about?
question.
I like doing Eyes On too, but Eyes On's fun. Fucking computer.
Plenty Hydra Travels and Fantasy too. Yeah, I think that's great. What do y'all think about the Tim Kennedy BS going on right now? I mean, I haven't been following it too closely, but you know, I a couple of people have called me about it and asked me what I think about this. I don't know, vet on vet violence. In my opinion, one, take care of all vets, cheer them on in their successes, and two, vets are the only people who can actually keep other vets honest. Civilians often don't know enough to ask or to discriminate different types of stories and whatnot. So I do think that there's a lot of value to not necessarily going after somebody because you don't like their product or going after somebody because you don't like their personality, but I think that calling out other vets or intelligence professionals who are lying, and I'm not saying Tim is, I haven't been following it, but I think that we have to keep our community honest, because that ensures, like, if we get a lot of people like front running out there saying a lot of things that aren't real, and nobody says anything, and then it comes out, you know, in another way, then we're all sort of complicit. You know, a lot of people have had very honorable and, you know, accomplished careers, and there's no reason to there's no reason to exaggerate. And this goes for somebody who was in SOF, the same as it goes for somebody who was, you know, a fuel pump operator. or a cook or a mechanic. Like, one team, one fight, and everybody should be very proud of what they did.
Yeah, so Alexander, what's up, bro? So I think he's fucked. I think he got shot down at the border of Lebanon and Syria. That's what they're saying. And I asked Mick Mulroy, who's co-host of Eyes On, and he said that the New York Times and CNN both think that Assad was on the IL-76 that was shot down. So
Yeah,
I don't know. We'll see. It's crazy.
Like I said, welcome to Yugoslavia Part 2. Need to get the guys on more comedy. See, I would like to do that. I would like to go on podcasts that are not like military focused. I mean, I hate talking about myself, but I'll like talk about geek shit or, you know, tell stupid dad jokes all day long. Need Wes Watson on here and teach you boys how to be alpha males. Who's Wes Watson?
I don't know. He probably sells a course.
Huh?
He probably sells a course.
Okay. I mean, look, if anybody could teach me how to be an alpha male, I'm sure it's Wes Watson.
I've been trying my whole life. I still haven't done it, so maybe one day.
People troll vets online hard too. They bait them hard and no. Look, here's my feeling about that though, because I get trolled a bit on like social media, and I mean, roll with it. Like vets, you know, like vets know how to roll with shit. They've been doing it, and I don't know why they respond. They respond to civilians or whatever. Like, you know, I mean, I troll myself, so,
Yeah.
like, yeah. Can you go up? Did we miss anything? Not things left or discussing to vets on it. Look, Chris, I'll tell you, the right targets veterans too if they don't agree with them politically. You know, it is okay to call out Nels for wearing a CIB or Waltz for saying that he carried a weapon of war in war. There's a difference between doing that and just calling a veteran stolen valor or whatever else because you don't agree with them politically. So the right will target vets on the left every bit as much as the left will target vets on the right. Veterans are not sacred cows. Every veteran, if you make a claim, then sorry, but that claim, you know, there's nothing wrong with people verifying that claim. Now, if you're going to look at somebody like J.D. Vance, who was an E4 in the Marine Corps, never claimed to have done anything that he didn't do, served honorably, did his job, and you're going to call him a POG or a REMP or belittle his service, that's shitty. It's shitty if you look at, you know, somebody on the left. I'm trying to think, somebody on the left who served honorably and has never inflated their claims, but you're going to call them a POG or stolen valor. Like, you know, there's a difference between somebody who served honorably, did their job, no matter what that job was, and somebody who inflates their claims. There are people on the left and there are people on the right who have inflated their claims, and there are people on the left and there are people on the right. Dave is a good example of somebody on the left who did his job. Dave Madden, who did his job, served honorably, has never inflated his claims, but because he is on the left or left-leaning, he's been under attack by the right. So, you know, it's sort of like people going after Hesgreth. Right now about his Bronze Stars. It's like, okay, like they're admin awards, not Valor awards. He has never said they're Valor awards. There's nothing wrong with them. There's nothing, I mean, to like, also on the right, like, don't go, he's won 2 Bronze Stars. That is not for a major, it's not a big deal. Like, everybody needs to calm the fuck down. I mean, honestly. Your guest every please said the USA doesn't have a cognitive student spares program. How can we correct this tragic oversight? How can I get a job in that program's quality control? Andrew, you dirty, dirty, dirty dog. Your D&D episode. Thank you, Michael. We appreciate it. I'm 26, too old to join the Army as an officer. John, absolutely not. I was 27 when I enlisted in the Army. 26, 27, like, if the body and mind are willing, there's no, you're never too old.
You remember that guy from last year's party who was, I think he was a Sacramento police officer?
Yeah, and he went to the Marines.
Yep.
Yep.
He's like 36.
Yeah, he went to the Marine Corps. Enlisted.
No, officer.
Oh, did he go officer? Okay.
And he's like 36 or 37. No.
Dave D. and Jack's New York episode win.
I mean, we could do it.
Nobody wants to hear my dating stories. I don't even want to think about my dating stories. The hardest I've laughed when deployed. Man, like any veteran who's been deployed, and honestly any veteran will tell you this, the hardest you laugh is generally when you're the most miserable. Like it's you either laugh or you cry, and nobody's gonna cry, so you laugh. And shit that's not even that funny sometimes. It's like, yeah. Does Dave know what guerrilla, not a type of warfare is? This is probably a reference to something old. Do I know what guerrilla warfare is? I mean, is it like Planet of the Apes? I don't know.
I catch most eyes on premieres.
What is the largest flag? I've never done a big flag duty.
Eyes on, we're fucking busy as fuck this week. And Team House. Monday we have Jack. Is Cappy in?
As long as he's back in the States.
I think he is. Possibly Chris Cappy's gonna be here too to like interview Jock for the book for We Defy coming out December 9th. Eyes on tomorrow. I'm doing at 4 p.m. with Mick and Andy. Then we have another Eyes on Tuesday 8 a.m. It'll be out that night with a former South Korean general to give us a lowdown on what went down over there. And on Thursday on Eyes On we have Charles Lister, who's going to give us a rundown about what went down in Syria. He's a pretty plugged in there. And of course, Friday we have our regularly scheduled Team House.
Wait, go back up a little bit. Female service members get flack a lot too from the right. I mean, female service members, like specific service members, I don't know if they get flack from, like, I see a lot of veterans on the right defending, like, try and say a bad word about Shannon Kent and see how far that gets you with right-leaning veterans. I would like to see Vance more if he'd given his mom some clean pee to pass the test. Like, who wouldn't give their mom clean pee?
I don't know what that means.
I don't either. I didn't read his book. I don't know much about Vance.
Oh, that's from his book?
Yeah, I don't know much about him. I just know that he was an E4 in the Marine Corps and, like, did his job. Thoughts on new Mr. threatening court-martial Jenna Donahue over rolling out. So,
didn't they uphold his promotion for a little bit?
I don't know. So my thoughts on the new administration. going back and calling officers back on active duty to review their performance, I'm not opposed to it. And I'm not speaking of Donahue in particular. We fought a 20-year war, and made no major gains. We had very little strategy, very few identifiable or attainable goals, and not one officer, senior officer, like junior officers probably got blamed plenty for shit that went down, but not one senior officer was held accountable, and they've probably all been promoted. I do not have a problem with their performance being reviewed. And I think that if you talk to a lot of GWAT vets or people who are involved in GWAT, they will feel the same way. That our leadership class in the military, there has to be some accountability, because there hasn't been any accountability, in my opinion, for a very long time.
Chris Miller for SecDef.
I would love Chris Miller for SecDef. I would absolutely love him, and yeah.
You all need to have Chris Wick come back on. Yeah. Why did Eyes On leave the Team House franchise? It didn't leave the Team House franchise. We just started its own channel.
We wanted to give them space and room to grow. Now, we still support them.
Yeah.
They're still on our podcast releases. We're not trying to cut them loose or get them off our channel. We're trying to let them bloom in their own pot.
Yeah, because we were thinking about doing a couple episodes a week. So doing 4, let's say in some weeks we do 2 episodes of the Team House. So releasing 4 episodes in a week, I feel like it kind of cannibalizes each other. So that's why I think it makes sense to have them on their own, on their own YouTube channel.
Look, we 100% support them. We convinced them to do the podcast. We launched them on our channel to help get them exposure. We'll still keep having them on our channel to help them get exposure. We just want to give them an opportunity to grow.
Yeah. And if you're on, if you listen to the Team House, it's the Eyes On podcast is still in a Team House audio feed. It's just a separate YouTube channel.
And look, we love supporting veterans and people in this community. If somebody else wanted to start something that was totally different and a new idea, we'd support that too.
No yawning? Yeah, sorry. I'm probably not gonna stop. The Senate held that Guy Donahue's star, but got approved.
So, Zach, yes, there are political issues, and yes, politicians are often. The problem is that so many of our officers have become political. It is. They often say what they think will make the politicians happy. A lot of them, and also, I would say that a lot of the politics and the admin, they're not there micromanaging the military. A lot of the decisions they are making is based on what our military leaders are telling them. And so, if the military leader says, hey, we're making gains because we stacked X number of bodies, but they know that stacking all these bodies isn't making a difference, then they're being dishonest for their career, for career promotion.
Where's the wine? I don't know. The women are probably drinking it.
Say again?
Where's the wine?
Come on. The last time, we bought a bunch of wine,
we had it for
3 years.
Yeah. It's interesting.
Any thoughts on the TTPs? I've only seen the video once or twice, but obviously the TTPs worked. He got away with it. I don't know if it was a 9mm or 22. I don't know what he used. I haven't done a ton of research. Like I said, I just saw the video real quick. The guy was familiar with the weapon, right? Like he knew he'd have to cycle it. I think it was kind of a faraway shot, but for that type of thing. But I'm not saying the guy was uber trained, but
I mean, yeah, when
it was a good hit.
did it gun jam, or that's how it works?
It probably didn't. It was probably like a custom suppressor. There were a number of reasons why it may not have cycled. If it was subsonic ammunition, if it was like a custom suppressor that didn't allow it, but the guy knew that he was going to have to cycle because he immediately went to it. He didn't fumble with it, so he was familiar with it. He had rehearsed it. Again, that's a long shot with a small caliber round, I think, but it was effective. Like what can I say? And this is not condoning violence at all. Just strictly from a tactical or technical point of view. Was the collapse of Assad planned as part of the Christmas extravaganza, or just a happy accident?
Yeah, that's what we do.
I mean, look, it's the team house. We're always guaranteed an amazing extravaganza.
It was smart starting another channel to do the live.
All of our shows are live,
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
but they're not going to be.
Yeah, they're not. That's
Soon we're going to start pre-recording, and that's just a matter of.
Well, they're gonna be live for Patreon members.
They're going to be live for Patreon members, and then they'll be live for Patreon members generally, unless we stack a few. But they'll be live for Patreon members, and then pre-recorded on Friday. Best MRE menu. Man, I haven't had an MRE in so long.
Just interrupting the stream.
No, get in. Adam, come sit down, man.
Yeah, you guys. I'm not gonna sit down. I was good
You
shot.
should get it on
No,
here.
here, let me scoot over.
Wait, I wanna. If I'm on camera, I wanna hug Dave.
What's up, baby?
Dude, I did not see on my bingo card Dave being a controversial figure.
Why am I controversial?
Are we on camera now?
Yeah, we're live.
You know what got me was when Malcolm called you a bitch. I didn't like that.
It's, for an intel officer.
Dude, so I was telling my girl on the way over here that the last time I was here was for Adam Gamal,
Yeah,
who wore a costume or disguise on the way here and on the way back.
yeah.
And then the time prior, I was here for Mike Edwards. And the reason that I'm as a +1, I think that's kind of cool that the two SMU dudes.
Yeah.
But Adam, because I was here, I saw him. He looks like exactly who he is. He's a fucking gangster.
Yeah.
He's awesome. And Mike's Mike.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get.
But
I got so
how
shy
am
when the
how am I
fucking cameras were on.
controversial? I'm not controversial.
No, you're the most
I'm a nice
balanced,
guy.
nicest guy ever. Yeah, but I'm in there. You see me in there. I get in there.
Yeah.
If you ever.
Yeah.
I defend your honor in the cyberspace.
Oh yeah.
I get in there like a little,
Yeah.
I almost said Bill Gates. Who's the Secret Service guy? Not Bill Gates.
Bill Gage.
Bill Gage.
Yeah.
Yeah. I almost do Bill Gage.
It was a 9mm B&T. Oh, it was a Station 6. Wow. So was it using?
I don't recognize any.
Was
of
it
these
using
names.
a subsonic then? Is that why it didn't? Is that why it didn't cycle?
I'm still here for 10 minutes, and then I'm probably gonna get out of here.
Um.
All right, I am joining the live stream.
What? So let's
Dude,
hear
I
it.
I'm gonna get it. I was telling Ian, I'm like notoriously
I guarantee
nervous or I hate
there's
it.
gonna be people in the chat who loved your episode. I guarantee you.
Maybe 31 guys have joined that I know of have reached out to me. And they're like, it's a
People
cool
who
classic.
watched Adam White's episode of the Team House definitely comment.
Go to hours
Okay.
between hours 2 and 3.
Thanks, Tom. I didn't know that. Like I said, I've just seen the video. I wasn't aware of what weapon he was using or why. Yes. Thoughts on the next 6 months in Ukraine? Look, I haven't. I don't make predictions. I don't. Anything can happen. I'm not, and I don't. I'm not following up to date. I just follow. I'm not an analyst in any way, shape, or form. Yeah, Lefroy. I don't think we have any Lefroy tonight. I'm a little sad. I should have gone and bought some.
He's so nice, right?
I guarantee there's people who know Adam White.
Oh, of course there are.
There's gotta be. So, for the audience, I'll say that Dave is looking back to comments like minutes ago. So,
Thanks, Tom. I appreciate that. Yeah, we're gonna go from the live format. Our numbers have been hurting also, and so we're trying to figure out what's going on. Most awkward, funny Christmas present?
Oh, we got something.
Do you
Most awkward, funny Christmas present.
yes.
have one?
Not that I can think of. Not
Do you
that.
have a most awkward, funny Christmas present?
Not really.
Yeah, me neither.
I mean, technically, I am Jewish, so I have no Christmas presents.
No, that would be awkward. Ipso facto, it's an awkward Christmas present.
See, there you go. Adam White's episode was great.
Hey,
Yeah.
Andrew, thanks, brother.
Can we get a quick
Cult
update
classic. It's
on
for
Eyes on
refined
Syria?
palates only.
There will be an update on Eyes On about Syria. D, where's D?
Thank you, Andrew.
Over here.
D. I think it's tomorrow.
Have I abandoned my girl?
Anyway,
Oh, she's over
He
there.
might be smoking outside or something.
you want me to go keep her company while you do this?
Scott
No,
no,
that's
comment about me.
I'm gonna get a little tipsy though.
You have to manually load cycle each shot. Okay. Shout out from Okinawa.
Shet 1756. Yes.
Matthew, are you in the Army or the Marines out there, or are you a civilian just learning karate?
Oh, D went outside. He's chatting.
Eyes on TV.
How does Adam feel about Army CI? So, in the history of Army CI, it kind of oscillates between being open as a first-time enlistment and then being shut off, and you have to kind of be like an E5. I joined in 2004, and both of the wars were going on, so there was like a need for human resources, human capital, whatever. So they opened it up as a first-time enlistment. So I'm okay with it. I could talk forever about this actually, because I feel like this is going to be abstract, but like you could move to New Orleans when you're 19, right, and live there for 50 years, but you're never from New Orleans unless you're from New Orleans. You can move to Harlem when you're 23 and live there for 60 years, right? And do be public garden and volunteer for this and that, but you're not from Harlem. Like, it's a difference. There's obviously it's a loose analogy or whatever, but for me, you have to, I don't know, I'm super biased or whatever because it was a first-time enlistment, but I think for me it's hard to articulate. Again, I hate, being on the camera or whatever, but there's like in that, from New Orleans, from Harlem, like to truly understand the spirit of what we're trying to do. I think a lot of times it's better to be completely like indoctrinated, if you will.
Sure.
In our kind of system.
Sure.
I don't know. So to answer Jim's question, I'm okay with it. I knew a lot of super fucking Army CI dudes.
Yeah.
That were first time enlisted.
I mean,
By the way, can I just say from
Yeah.
Brando? Yeah.
So ask Wona. So Wona, hey, I'm from New Orleans. Does anybody understand what I'm saying there?
So Brando, all I wanted to say.
And by the way, I'm a
is
little tipsy and I'm a little nervous.
I
So.
do a podcast.
I hate being on.
With Chris Ferranto called Battle Line Podcast.
Check it out. They're awesome.
Yeah, so if everyone in this live chat could subscribe to us, that would be awesome. So Battle Line Podcast, anywhere you watch podcasts or listen, please subscribe. It's myself and Chris Ferranto. Shameless plug.
No, it's.
And we've had Dave on.
I 100% fully support you guys. Please subscribe to Battle Line. They're awesome. They're fantastic.
You're fantastic. And they said you pronounced New Orleans, right?
Nolans.
How did you say it?
He said New Orleans.
I don't know.
Yeah, I said New Orleans.
Yeah, it's Nolans.
Tim Kennedy. I've spoken about Tim Kennedy.
Thank you, Ray.
Fibber, kind of fibs.
I mean,
Embellisher?
look, anybody who has been on target, and I don't know Tim Kennedy, and he's probably a very lovely human being, all right?
I've just heard him say stuff about their Zerkawi stuff.
I'm just saying that nobody's carrying around 30 plus grenades in a backpack. It weighs a lot. Grenades are not like I've been in a frag fest once.
I'm gonna be back in a second.
But but you're not sitting there static with like 30 grenades, like throwing all these grenades. Grenades aren't super effective to begin with. Like when you're on target, like why are you using a grenade? And the other thing is, grenades have pins and spoons, which have a tendency, if you were just to dump a bunch in a bag, it becomes like one of those fucking ring puzzles, right? Trying to unfuck them in the middle of combat.
Where did he say this?
He said it on a podcast. I don't watch a lot of. Funny enough, I don't watch a lot of veteran podcasts. I was not aware of this controversy firsthand. People sent it to me, asked my opinion. Again, not saying anything about Tim Kennedy. I don't know him. He's achieved a lot. He's had a great career. I feel as though sometimes, though, the stories that we might tell, a girl at a bar, we might accidentally let slip publicly, where discerning people might say, that doesn't sound right.
There's a question for you.
Getting hooked on Twitter yet?
Go down.
No, man. No, no regrets. And yeah.
Dude, I hope that wasn't me.
No, we're still on. They keep going.
Oh, okay.
And here's the thing, anybody who knows me, I'll be manic on Twitter for like 3 to 6 months, and then I'll disappear for a year or so.
Yeah. I think it's been cool to see you. I've actually had the calculated thought that you've been more expressive the last year or so, the last 6 months maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Dave has been
For
more
me?
expressive. Yeah.
And by expressive, we mean going after Malcolm Nance. And,
Look,
Hey, you wanted a hatchet kill. You didn't get a hatchet kill, but you got a cyber kill.
Look, here's the thing with Malcolm Nance. And for those
Let me
of-
ask you, where did he cross the line for you?
when he was calling veterans traitors for how they voted, and I didn't even go after him for that. I told one of the veterans, some guy I didn't even know, I told one of the veterans just to ignore him because he's full of lies. Everybody in the community knows that. People like, but it's not my mission to take down. Like, it's not my mission to take people down. But he was calling veterans traitors if they didn't align with him politically. Some veteran was having a very reasonable conversation with him. I told the veteran, I said, hey, just ignore him. He's, just a pile of lies. And then Nance went after me, and people can go after me, I don't care. But he bet me $25,000 that I couldn't disprove his claims. And then a I'm like, I don't have $25,000, and then a veteran shows up in my DMs and says, take the bet. I took the bet, and Malcolm disappeared.
Dude, these comments are great.
So
I know you probably want to scroll up because there's so much stuff we're getting, which is cool.
thanks, Brando. I appreciate it, man. I'm just like everybody else, man. I try to be good, but I'm not bad. I'm just drawn that way. Maybe.
I'm home.
So Tom, it's not inconceivable that in a soft unit that he could have 30 frags. Like, that's not inconceivable. A lot of times, and and I don't know the specifics of Tim's unit or whatever, but there are units where there's not a hand receipt for everything you pull out. So the idea of getting 30 frags is possible. Yeah. The idea of carrying them is not really. I mean, maybe in a go bag, in the back of a truck, but they would have to be like I said, a frag. When you think about it, right? It's got the spoon coming down. It's got the pin. You straighten the pin up just a little bit to make it easier to pull, but that also makes it a little bit more dangerous. You're not tossing a bunch of those into a bag willy-nilly for them to just get jumbled around or whatnot. Like, you have to be cautious with them. Thoughts on military special brand whiskey, bottom shelf of the bottom. Man, all bottom shelf of the bottom whiskeys are military brands. Thanks, Matthew. Getting her to turn. Oh, funniest moment from boot camp? Fuck, man. Well, I have 3 boot camps, and there are funny moments from all of those. You have any funny moments from boot camp?
I don't know, man. I can't think of any right now.
I have some, but they're a little implicating.
I'm trying to think.
Boot camp stories.
I don't know. I remember hearing Jack say something a long time ago. He's like, badass dudes don't talk about boot camp because they talk about operations.
I mean, well, I'm not badass, so I'm okay. So when I went to Army boot camp, I'd already been in the Army Guard for like 3 years, and then when I went active, I went to boot camp, and it was like I skipped like the first 2 weeks or 3 weeks of boot camp. I can't remember, but anyway, I show up, and one of my buddies from the Guard unit, Emmett, who sometimes watches our stream, I love you, man, who is a rocket scientist at NASA.
Are you entertaining the masses over there?
Yes.
No, dude, it's wild. Yeah, it's rare. It's rare that I get on camera.
Sent
It's rare I
me,
get on camera.
Not so bit anyway.
he's
telling a boot camp story.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
No, he was prompted. He was prompted.
We've entered that period of the night.
he sent me a care package that had my dive badge so that I could sew it on, and he also sent me the orders from the AR 670-1, or is
That's the uniform
uniform code? Yeah. So that he sent me the page, so that I could, which my drill sergeants actually were all about, because they would use me to trigger other drill sergeants. And then he also sent a box of porn with this, like porn for the drill sergeants, like a couple VHS tapes and stuff like that. And so I got the care package. I took out my stuff, and then I took the porn to my drill sergeants because, they still had VHS back in this day, like internet streaming wasn't a thing. And they sat there, in their shack when, somebody was always on duty. So when I gave it to them, I go back out into the squad bay, and about 15 minutes goes by, and they're like, Bart, get your ass in here. So Roger Stern, Charles Stern, and I run up there, and they're like, close the door. So I close the door, and I'm like, dude, sit down. And they pop in one of the tapes, and so I had it made with the drill sergeant from that point. That was kind of a funny story from boot camp. Let's see here. Maybe fun. Mistaking War Thunder form for.
I see I recognize some of these guys, some of the OGs. Global Media is an OG.
Oh, Benjamin, I'll quit Twitter cold turkey and give me like a couple months. Like I get burnt out on stuff.
Jack, can I get a spot?
Yeah, like I would.
I got plenty.
I don't know that I'd quit so much as I'd take like a 6-month to a year vacation. In fact, I was just off Twitter for like a few days while I was like, thanks, Wona. Tell Malcolm Nance to suck Tiger dick. Malcolm, this isn't from us. We love you, man. But Corey says you can suck Tiger dick. I think there's none. Dave meets Nance with pistols, John.
On a random scene, I would pay money to see that.
And Nance would never show up anybody where anybody could actually question him.
That's true.
Macallan Whiskey Sriracha agreed, I think.
You know how like actors and actresses have like big breaks or whatever? Like what was Malcolm Nance's break? Like
it was
kind of where did he come from?
So I've done
Like, how did he?
I've done a little bit of research on Malcolm Nance, as it were, and his big break was Malcolm was taken from a critical MOS or rape, CTI, right? Which he was an Arabic language with a TSSCI, and for reasons that are expressed in the soft rep article, was not able to do that job for his last 4 years. So they had to find some place to put him, and that happened to be SEER school. Now, he couldn't be an actual SEER instructor because he had never been through SEER himself, so he ended up being like the training LPO. But when he was on a security, like doing some sort of security with like some Indige, like some cheap-ass security contract in Baghdad, and was active on Small Wars Journal or Small Wars Forum, and then another forum, Light Fighter Forum.
I will get to this at some point.
And then when the whole waterboarding thing came out, he came out as the voice that he had been at SEER. He had been at SEER, and that he knew firsthand somehow that waterboarding was torture, and so he became one of the very first people who had, according to civilians, a firsthand knowledge of this and the background to back it up, and then had a congressional testimony. So that was how he came out. That's how he made his bones. And then basically since then, he has not only become an expert in torture and waterboarding, but he's interrogation, counterterrorism, counterintelligence, basically whatever the hot topic is of the day. Now he's a cybersecurity expert. He is an expert based on his, because he pulled this on me. He's like, well, you've never had a TSSCI SAP. You wouldn't know what I know. And I'm like, get bent. So basically,
that's another thing I didn't like about him is that he didn't do the least a modicum of OSINT on you.
He knows people that know me.
All right, I'm gonna give a really quick answer to this guy's question before I get out of here.
How does Ian feel about being involved super early in the vet podcast world? I think it was the early 2010s. It was very early on.
Yeah. So it's funny because
You're like Cameron, who's the dude, Cameron something, that was 16 years old and he went on tour with the Allman Brothers. they made a movie about it.
Rolling Stone.
Yeah.
It's funny because I was
Yeah, go. Yeah, go.
I was literally just speaking about this with Adam. So I'll give a quick answer, but it was funny because when Brandon asked me to be a part of it, I knew literally nothing about the military, nothing about special operations. I was like, why do you want me to be a part of this podcast? But it was more so for what I knew about radio and broadcasting.
Right. Because you had a background in radio.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Yeah.
It was
doing
also
it-
because you were a hard worker.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I'd been doing that since 2006. But early on, I mean, I was just saying to Adam, I got slammed because people were like, what does this guy know about anything? I didn't know when people were talking about special forces that it was something different than special operations. That's the example that I gave
Yeah.
you.
Well, what's cool is that D on Eyes On now has used that as like a counterbalance. Like
But
now
D-
it's like judo flipped as like it's cool. Like I don't understand why people gave you shit, but they're stupid. They're stupid for giving you shit.
It's a little bit different though because at this point, D and I know more than the average person.
Right.
Correct.
Right.
I would say when I was brought on, I didn't know more than the average person.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was, the point being though, I think early on the audience was like, why is this guy here? And then they kind of warmed up to me. But I did feel like we were a part of something that was like really revolutionary at the
Yeah.
beginning because there weren't 10 million Vet Bro podcasts.
Right.
There wasn't Black Rifle Coffee. Like we were a part of something way before everyone else was. And you've said this many times, like if the business would have been run better, we would have been Black Rifle Coffee. Like we would not to say that like we're a fan of what they do, but like we could have been the big brand in the vet bro space.
Yes.
And it got kind of fucked up by poor business decisions. And I said that to Brandon when I had him on my podcast, on Battle Line Podcast. That's just the truth.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. So all right, I'll leave with that.
Are you taking
I'll
off
let
that?
you get back to what
Sure,
you're
brother.
doing. Dude, great.
Yeah, we'll
great
talk soon,
seeing
brother.
you.
Yeah.
And I guess I did meet you in person at one point. I do
Yeah.
want to get Adam on Battle Line Podcast.
All of us like in Williamsburg at your birthday party, like in 2015.
Long time ago.
Oh, that was.
Right.
Dude, oh, good seeing you. I'll see you in like a week and a half. Oh, of course, man. I'll see you in like a week and a half for the book. Send us the book when you can. I will.
Dude, so if we're on camera, I'll say I will always have love for Dave, man. I'll always have love for you, Dave.
Appreciate
You know
that,
that, man.
Same Z's, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
No, we're BFFs. I think I've seen Corey Ritchie. Tom Wilson, I've seen Tom.
What are the diarrhea stories? I don't. Jack, what's your thought on the Tim Kennedy drama? This is specifically for you.
Man, where do I even begin on that? I don't know how deep I want to get into the melodrama. I think there's like a couple questions you have to ask yourself, and like, so if like me personally, I don't like on a personal level, I don't give a fuck. Like I honestly don't care. It's not important to me. However, like the question is Brent Tucker doing his homework and is he telling the truth?
Yeah.
Second question, is Tim Kennedy lying? Right, those are important questions.
Yeah.
And I don't have any problem with like calling out the lies. If like something is wrong and you say that's wrong, that's important. But I personally have very little interest in like the day-to-day melodrama and dragging it out over a prolonged period of time. It doesn't really do anything for me. But yeah, maybe there does need to be like some accounting if something was said that was
Yeah.
not true.
And again, if we don't hold ourselves accountable, who does? And do we pick and choose?
Yeah,
You know?
I also have to like say that I may be a bit like my skin is thicker than most people, and a lot of these stories that like that Brent has been talking about are things that are very well known in the special operations community. Like it's not news to me. And I was having a conversation earlier tonight with someone that like the interesting thing is that 10 years ago, if you told these stories, if you said,
Marcus Luttrell's story doesn't add up, people would look at you like you were crazy. Like, you're a nutcase.
Just sacrilege.
Like, how would you say this? Like, what is wrong with you? You're saying that Chris Kyle is a liar? Are you crazy? People really, and like, shoot the messenger is a very real thing. And I said some things that were not popular, but
it was in defense of the integrity of the institution versus the individual.
And again,
or
like,
just what happened.
Yeah.
What's true, and here we are today, and so some of these things that to me just feel like passé, maybe are not to other people.
Right.
So maybe I shouldn't be so dismissive.
Right. Well, and it's like, because people have been out ask about the Malcolm Nance thing. Everybody in the community has known for years that Malcolm Nance has been full of shit. But, it's like...
That's why I asked you. I was kind of fascinated, like, what was the straw? And for you, you said it's when he started calling out people for...
He started calling veterans traitor, but even that wasn't the straw. Like, I got involved in... I didn't even talk to Nance. I talked to another vet, I said, in that thread. And then Nance came after me, which is fine. I don't care if people come after me. But if you're going to bet me $25,000 that I can't disprove your claims, stand by. And the whole thing about the Anti-Hero podcast, I absolutely agree with. They're not doing this because of the drama. They're doing it because of the integrity. Like, they, Brent's not like a drama, and I don't know his co-host, but Brent's not like a drama guy. Like, they're it's accountability.
Dave, where's your battle buddy? Where's your battle buddy?
You're my battle buddy. Become Ryan. Redacted, the Team House. I'm a professional comedy writer and love you guys' channel. Thanks, man. We appreciate that. Thanks, man. That's very nice. I don't think anti-hero. Yeah, Pat, I agree. I don't think anti-hero guys calling out people is about the drama, and it's not toxic to. Like, this isn't drama. This is calling out lies. Like, if you're trying to say that, a guy who under Silver Star, if you're there saying that he didn't deserve it, or whatever, that gets on the level of drama. But analyzing something,
a lot of us have like an obsession with exactness.
Sure, and like, people remember things differently, but then there are also things that don't make sense to people who have been on the ground. It's like that doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
it just doesn't make sense. He trains SEALs, is what he'll tell you. Yes. Soft rep, that's Ole Navy SEAL Sniper Boy. Oh, who left?
Trip and Gabby just
Malcolm's written 5 books that I haven't read them, but
Jack has a book coming out.
Yeah.
2 days, I believe.
Yep.
December 9th.
Wait, is it after midnight right now?
Yes.
Tomorrow, the book comes out tomorrow.
Shit.
D still wants to see mushrooms, man.
Hey,
Time flies, man.
What happened to Brandon? He's the narrator. What happened to Woke Howard Stern? I don't know about who's Woke Howard Stern.
I guess that's Howard Stern who's gone woke. I don't know.
Oh, is that D? D's Woke Howard Stern?
Is he?
that's a character arc. If
Yeah.
right? Tom, you couldn't be more right. David is an OG.
How long has the Team House been around? Y'all 4 months ago. Man, we've been around for about 4 years.
5 years.
5 years. Yeah.
5 years. We have over 300 episodes right now. So you will never catch up on all our content. We have some amazing content, and
I have a top 10. Like I have like a
What are your top
playlist
10?
on top 10. Marty Peterson,
yes,
Yeah.
Marty Peterson. She should be a household name, and she's not.
Lee Sandowski,
Yeah. Awesome.
Mike Edwards,
Yeah. Which
I'm-
all of them?
the third one.
Third one?
Yeah, I'm in my own top 10. Who else? Oh, Mike
Man,
Perry.
look, if you don't vote for yourself,
Brother, Nas. I'm on my
I'm
top 10.
not. I'm
It's
all
a
about
cult
it.
classic.
I'm all about
It's
it.
a cult classic.
I'm all about it.
No, all jokes aside, once I settled, I do feel I said a lot of things that had not been said before.
I thought it was great, man.
Yeah.
It was.
Who else? Yeah, Marty Peterson. I think Adam Gamal's on there.
The Freud Fund.
Eric Miaris is on there.
Yep.
The dude that was let's see here, I forgot. One of the guys that did I forget. I'll look later.
There was nothing like soft rep at the time. No, Andrew, you're right. Like it was groundbreaking, and it was like, it was the new Soldier of Fortune.
Yeah.
It was the new Soldier of Fortune.
There was a time when, there's nothing else like it.
Yeah.
And it took no shit. It really didn't for a period of time. And as time went on, unfortunately, it became, in my opinion, compromised. But there was a period of time where...
You played the guitar until all the strings came off.
Exactly.
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, you fucking ran that up into the fucking ground, dude.
You ride it. You ride
Yeah.
it as long as you can. You ride the bull.
Dave is an og.
I'm trying to find. It's an. Are you obviously kidding, right? OJ, yeah, thank God.
Sriracha, thank you very much. We really appreciate the Lefroy Fund.
All right, what are my top 10 here?
We don't have Lefroy here
Chris
tonight, do
Miller.
we?
Chris Miller, legendary milestone.
Another
Chris
one that
Miller.
another one that I think really goes. Yeah, Chris Miller's was great. Another one that I think goes overlooked is Dante Paradiso. Like talking about the Doha Accords was like, how often do you get to hear somebody who was involved in?
So I got Pete Blaber.
Blaber.
One of the things I love
Pistol
about
Pete.
his. Okay, so there's one moment of the Pete Blaber episode that I fucking love. He said the very moment he goes, it's a cliche. It's like, all right, knock it off, guys. Cut the shit. We got to get serious. He goes, pause. He goes, no, keep it light.
Yeah.
Keep it fun.
Yeah.
I thought that was absolutely fucking brilliant. If you guys remember that moment where he said that, where he said like, the cliche is, all right, cut the shit, guys. Stop joking. We got to get serious here. But it's at that very moment where you don't want to grip too hard on the bat.
Right.
You want to keep it loose. You
Yeah.
want to keep it fun and
Yeah.
flow.
Yeah.
I thought that was absolutely brilliant. So I got people, and then Luis,
Fernandez.
no.
Rueda. With audio.
Oh, okay.
Rueda was
Yeah.
awesome.
He was amazing.
Dude,
What
I'm
a
telling you,
smart
Mike
guy,
Perry is
right?
fucking a legend, dude.
Yeah.
Mike Perry's hilarious.
Yeah.
Chris Miller's fucking hilarious. That was a top 5 milestone episode.
Yeah.
For you guys. I mean, it's fucking SecDef.
Yeah.
He's here.
Yeah.
And he's, obviously Mike Edwards. Yeah, that's what I got. And then Marty. So Dimitri and I, we share a love for Marty.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Party Marty would be throwing him back.
I would say, I mean, we've had amazing people on.
Jim Olsen was great.
Jim Olsen was great.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
My favorite people are the funny people.
Marty, though, like I am. If anything black pills me, it's the fact that Marty Peterson is not a household name. That little girls everywhere don't know who Marty Peterson is, but they know who the Kardashians are.
Yeah.
That's frustrating for me.
No, she's fucking gangster to the bone, dude.
Nobody would believe it. First, the days are quite professional. So
that's right, Andrew. That's right. Yeah, my cousin Liz.
So Tom, unfortunately, the days of the quiet professional are over. I have thoughts on this because you're a quiet professional when you're a professional, but if somebody goes to Harvard, they're obviously going to put that on their resume, right? And they're going to use that to get jobs.
You don't have to go to Harvard. Like, if you retire from special operations and you become a SOCOM contractor, that's going on your resume.
Well, but the thing is that when a veteran gets out of the military, and they're trying to make a living, right?
Yeah.
They're trying to make a living. What, like, would somebody else, like, you know, you watch any podcast of, you know, if you were to watch a podcast of, say, Elon or Bezos, and you were to say, hey, be a quiet professional. Don't talk about your past accomplishments.
Can I talk to this exact? I would say
Yeah.
40% of the reason that I did an interview, 40% of the reason I did an interview, is because, and RRC. I've talked about with Mike Edwards about this. Like, so one of the strengths of RRC and Army Counterintelligence is also the bane when we're veterans, and nobody fucking knows anything about it.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So like, dude, I hate to say it, man. Like, I did all the things that I did in the Army Counterintelligence, and then I went to fucking Columbia University, which is Ivy League school.
Right.
I would interview for jobs in my wheelhouse, and I would get fucking rejected.
Right.
Because nobody fucking knows that
Right.
like there is fucking juice in Army CI.
Yeah.
I'd take like three good Army CI guys over 10 case officers. I really would. What 40% of the reason that I did the interview, talk about quiet professionals, is me, this guy, I was fucking not be able to pay my bills because like nobody was fucking giving me a job. Because everything I was saying sounded like fucking monopoly money.
It's interesting.
And I
that,
felt like a
yeah.
deep, like personally, it's like I've never said this before. Fucking 60% of the reason I did it was for the next guys. So now you know, like, hey, dude, if somebody says Iowa wrestling on their resume, fucking hire that guy.
Well,
Yeah.
what,
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, if they say, like-
what other profession is
If
there?
there's a fucking there.
where you're not allowed. There's some sort of social norm that you're not allowed to list that on your resume.
Right.
Yeah.
Like if you're applying for a job as a rocket scientist, that you're not allowed to talk about how you went to MIT.
Right.
Yeah.
Like that's weird.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so it's weird that like as you know, if you were a soldier, you're not allowed to like say that and hopefully not misrepresent yourself, but like say, yeah, I did that.
No, you can
And
see
that-
like
and
I
that's-
feel my physiology changing. Like
And that is the background qualifications that qualifies me for the next job,
Yeah.
right? And that's it. That's it.
The other important thing that I believe is that
dope song.
is that
You're DJing, aren't you?
what would we give, right? Like people during the Civil War, the Revolutionary War, World War I, like some of them left memoirs, right? But what would we give to have interviews with those people, like recorded interviews that, right now, you know, people might not care too much about this stuff, but you know, in 100 years, if YouTube is still around or this stuff is still here, you know, like we know for sure, people who write books, people who make documentaries, they use our channel as a resource, and
And the dudes you have on are like
dudes and dudettes.
the dudes and dudettes you guys have on are there's never an issue of authenticity or credibility. Like Mike Vining, Mike Vining's not in my top. It's a rolling. The top 10 is a rolling.
Someone else mentioned Eben Barlow.
Yeah,
Also
it's going to
awesome.
be a very
Yeah.
personal list for sure.
Yeah.
And that's why when
Yeah, it's
people,
my top 10.
that's like often people go, "Oh, you have a podcast? Yeah, recommend an episode." Well, like we have over 300 episodes. Tell me what you're interested in because like not everybody's going to be interested in the same stuff. So anyway, so that's the whole quiet professional thing. You know, it's just to speak to Adam's point, like.
Brother,
Years ago,
where did you want me to go to college?
Yeah.
What did you want me to?
Yeah.
How fucking tall do you want me to be? How well, like, how perfect do you want this fucking tie knot to be?
Yeah.
Like, like, it's like, you've talked about this. It's a little cliche, but like, really, it's either you were in the CIA or you're a Navy SEAL. Like, they don't understand that like RRC dudes are upside down, sideways, like more trained. Like, they're Army CI guys that have way more experience than fucking an analyst in the CIA.
Yeah, and you know, so I mean, I have heartache with the whole like you're a quiet professional while you're a professional. Like, don't talk to the media, don't talk to the press, don't go out to the bars and brag about what you did. But when you're done, man, that's
Also,
that's your resume.
OPSEC is operational security. Like, these fucking operations, these wars are fucking 20 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm Walter Sobchak right now.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, dude,
Yeah.
I'm Walter Sobchak talking about fucking Vietnam.
Yeah.
That shit's fucking way the fuck over. There is
Yeah.
no OPSEC. Those operations.
This
was
isn't
20 fucking years ago,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
So the best question of the night, Murphy, question mark. The answer is yes.
Jerry J.
At
There
all-
he is.
at
Yeah,
all
Jerry J.
times.
the Gray Man.
Yes.
Jerry J. the Gray Man.
Ken, you going out to the club, man?
We went to the club last night.
You went there last night?
Yeah, we were at the club last night, and there were some Indiana Jones people.
Yeah, Chris Miller's in my top 10.
Would you guys ever do a stream interview with Ronnie, the guy? Man, I loved Ronnie and Josh. I love the guys from Funker 530. I would, like, if they're willing to talk about their careers and whatnot, or a crossover thing, I love those. Those guys are fucking awesome. Yeah, I love the Funker 530 guys.
Dude, I've never been madder at anybody than my cousin.
Okay, so Tim said his book has passed DOD review and couldn't be a lie. So for civilians, let me just say that when a book goes through a publication review board, when it goes through a process, whether it's the DOD or the CIA or the NSA or the DIA or whatever else, they are checking for secrets. They are checking that secrets are being leaked.
I think it took
And
Adam
that's-
Gamal 5 years.
And that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. They are not checking. They are not validating lies.
Yeah.
I could write a book about my time in the Rangers and say I shot Bigfoot. And the only thing that the DOD PRB would look at is was I saying that I was in a classified location when I
Right,
did
did
that?
you use the name of the fob that you
Right.
were on when you... Like,
That's it.
Right.
So anybody who puts out a book that undergoes a PRB,
and the irony is for him to use that as a defense is a lie in and of itself.
you're right.
Because it's like...
They do not check for lies.
Obfuscation?
Yes. Yeah. Let's see here.
Someone remembered them and revisited. And so, long story short, a lot of good improvements.
Jim Olsen's dope.
Remember the second
Mark's got 3. Mark Parmalopoulos has 3 episodes, I don't know.
Yeah, Mark is great.
So let me. So this is. I've said this on Twitter before or whatever, but I did Army CI human in Baghdad, and we worked with 6, very directly with 6 case officers in that year that I was there. 3 of the 6 went to Texas A&M. They all said that they went into the CIA as case officers because of Jim Olsen's class.
I don't care. I gave him 2 warnings.
50% of the case officers I worked with, 50% of the case officers I worked with said they went into the line of work because of the class they took by Jim Olsen at Texas A&M.
He's an amazing dude, and it was a great episode.
That's crazy. Because I remember, like, we were in the bar, and there's...
Yeah, so Pat, that's, there's a huge discrepancy between what a senior level officer or an SIS at the agency can write to what, like, an enlisted, service member or a GS-13 at the agency can write. And it's good when these senior level people write these books because it opens it up a little bit, but people have still been like redacted on stuff that's already out there. It's weird.
The other thing that I'll say is, like, if you're one of these dudes, like, from Sunday through to Sunday, you live this, so you know how to have these conversations. I don't think there's one of us that have, like, sold the farm at all. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, if like you can be Delta Force, RRC, Army CI, whatever. Like, nobody's selling the farm. Like
Like on a podcast?
Correct. Everybody knows. Like, for me, you can give me all the drugs and whatever, and I'm never gonna. I always know. My compass is always kind of.
You know where the line is.
Correct. Yeah, you just do.
Yeah.
And like we said, like
I'm wondering about, like, what drugs could we get? D, go break out our stash.
I took LSD twice when I was 15.
So they're apparently not on our podcast, but on another podcast. Apparently there was somebody who said things that they
Goto's got a good
should
question.
not have said that
You're talking about the Sean Ryan one?
yes, that created a community backlash, and letters were sent out to former members of that organization. We haven't had anything like that. We've had a couple people at times asking us to censor something that they have said. We have a fairly strict policy on that, but we also don't want to fuck anybody over. So there have been times that we have, if it was, because people get on, they get comfortable, they're talking with a couple of bros, and they say something, and they're like, oh fuck, maybe I shouldn't have said that. So it's but yeah. And we also we try to be very conscientious here too about not using insider information or stuff we know to out people or to ask gotcha questions. Do you guys have kids, and would you want them to follow in your footsteps? Jack, sorry, Ken. Question for you, really. Would you want Alice to follow in your footsteps?
I have a hot take.
My daughter to follow in my
By definition,
footsteps?
they can't. Our situations are unique.
Yeah, I mean, there's this really difficult conversation that I was having with someone just the other day about this was a conversation with David Waterhouse that I was talking to him
Have a
about.
seat, man.
Was that
Do you want a refill of anything?
when your kids come to you with these questions about the military, how do you answer to that? How do you answer any of that? And it's sort of on one hand, you don't want to scare them, but on the other hand, you don't want to glamorize it, make it seem like it's cool because they might go and do it themselves. And we're in a brave new world now where even girls can go and try out for Rangers or Special Forces, right, if they want to. So I don't think my daughter would follow in my footsteps, but if she did, if that was her passion, I'd support her in doing it. But I don't think she's on that track myself.
I do not have kids yet. Do you know any volunteers? No, I don't have kids yet. If I did, and it's something they wanted, I would not talk them out of it because I wouldn't hype it up. I wouldn't try to convince them to do it. But what I've learned from talking to people who wanted to serve, thought about serving, but never served, is they always have a question. And it's always this unanswered thing. And whether it's the military or anything else, I would never want my kids to live the rest of their lives with what if scenarios.
In special operations, which is kind of what we're talking about.
It's a
probably
calling,
here.
I think.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
what
a
I was
calling.
gonna say. Yeah.
And so if they were called to that, regardless of what the status of the military was.
And at that point, nothing I am going to say is going to matter.
Exactly. And it's funny because right now, you see so many soft veterans who, I don't want to say they're anti-war, but they're very, very much hey, the war machine needs to go away. They don't want the neocons. They don't want these war hawks. And the thing is that, I'm a decade or so older than Jack. So, and I was born in 70 and grew up, in the post-Vietnam era where there was a lot of bitterness about Vietnam. There was a lot of bitterness of how the vets were treated. There was a lot of misrepresentation about veterans. And even with all that, when I enlisted, even knowing all that, when I enlisted, I still wanted to do it. And so it doesn't matter what veterans say about administrations or about the GWAT or whatever. The kids, the people who are called, they're going to be called. And if they don't answer, they will forever wonder And I think that's a horrible, like it's a horrible place to be for a person, you know. And a lot of times when I meet guys, in particular in bars, and they sort of measure, but they measure themselves against me because they wanted to serve and didn't. You know, I tell them like being serving doesn't make a person better than another person, and everybody has their own path to follow, and there's no measurement, there's no you know, I want them to be good to themselves and take it easy on themselves. But anyway, but I understand where they're coming from too. You know, 9/11 was fucking horrible. I mean, it was horrible. But I think if you talk to a lot of GWAT vets, a lot of soft vets, they'll tell you that they're not glad it happened, but they feel fortunate they lived in a time when.
So my reflexive answer, not as a cop-out answer, but when I think Benjamin, right, when he said follow in our footsteps, by definition, like the set of circumstances that all of us kind of found ourselves into,
Right.
very unlikely for that concert of elements
Right.
to happen again.
Thanks, buddy.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah,
Mike Horr's son was awesome.
it
We
was
had him on the show.
phenomenal. Yeah.
Now, who was that? Who was it? Because I'm a fan.
So Mike Hoare was the infamous Congo mercenary of Five
Okay, yeah.
Commando, and his son wrote a terrific book about
Yeah.
his dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I remember that one.
You know, great Team House episode, and I hope you guys will read the book. It was really cool.
You know who was on my top 10 also? Was Gene Yu.
Gee.
Yeah,
Which one? The first or
Well,
second?
I haven't seen the second one yet.
Man, Gene
But
is
Gene, yeah.
Gene is an amazing human being, dude.
Yeah,
I love that
Gene
guy
Yu.
so much.
The funny one, like, you know, I have an affinity towards humor, but the people that like are able to tell their story and like be funny, you know, to me are awesome.
Yeah, Gene is great.
Yu, Mike Perry.
Gene is a character without a doubt.
Yeah,
Awesome
Gene's
guy.
awesome.
Confident. The Pentagon's going to start issuing community strikes. Yeah, I mean,
Sean
Look-
Ryan's got an issue with like the credibility of his guests. You know,
Here's a spicy one. Any thoughts about Amaryllis Fox's recent interview with Tucker? She's apparently an expert on the Ukraine war now.
so this is what we're talking about with Malcolm, right? Or like
David Brooks,
these people are they are experts on whatever the fucking new thing is. And you know, like when we had McCloskey on talking about Syria, the guy worked the desk. He knows, or what?
Yeah,
Right?
6 years.
Yeah, he
McCloskey,
worked
yeah.
the desk. Like he knows the area. But all of a sudden we have these experts in these areas, whether it's Ukraine or Israel or Syria or whatever the next hotspot is, they're going to be an expert because they read a couple articles or they read a couple books and now they're an expert. And the mainstream media, whether it's Fox or CNN or MSNBC, host these people. They or Tucker, whatever,
So-
they host them.
I'll spill a little bit of tea about Amaryllis. So she's the media manager for RFK Jr. And Amaryllis, I know her deal. So basically, after 9/11, there was a program at the CIA to bring in all these civilians and turn them into Knox. And
that's what she went through, right?
she was in that program for a short bit, but all of her stories that she tells are total bullshit. Total bullshit. And she married into the Kennedy family and is now doing all that number. But it's another example of someone who's just totally full of shit.
Can I address this question here? It says, Kay, what title are you guys most proud of? Ranger, SF, Marine, Columbia grad, etc.
Damn.
My answer to that is source handler. So I was a counterintelligence agent, but probably 94% of what I did was human intelligence. I'm most proud of the title of source handler versus counterintelligence agent or sergeant or whatever. Or I just saw that question and it jumped out at me. For me, I love that. If I have something on my tombstone, source handler.
This one, David Hookstead just posted something about females in Delta Force. Well, listen.
I want to talk about that for a second. As an Intel dude, it's long known, like in the Intel community, that like women do phenomenal stuff. That they can hit nooks and crannies.
They
that,
can
like,
do stuff that guys can't do.
Yeah, like so. It's in a weird way. Like when I hear people debating of whether or not women should do like some boogeyman shit, you're kind of ratting yourself because like knock knock, women have done boogeyman shit for a long time.
So look, I'll just come out and say it. That cheese dick posted that stuff because I posted on Reddit that article that the Army published about women serving in a special mission unit. And so that's probably my last post on Reddit because I'm not out to serve as a content farm
Get on Substack.
for David Hookstead. I am on Substack.
Where can they find you on Substack?
The high side.
We're content for Hookstead.
No, I'm not. We are for that
I'll
fucking
talk some
guy.
shit. It's okay.
I don't know who David Hookstead is.
He's a Delta.
He's like a
dick,
Maxim magazine.
He's a dick rider. Totally
You know what I
dick
mean?
rider.
Like Maxim magazine.
I used to love Maxim magazine, man.
Yeah, Maxim magazine had girls in it. That's
Yeah.
the difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but what I'm saying is, it's like it's not.
It was like the
for
PG
masses,
Playboy.
Not the classes.
Yeah.
It was the PG
Playboy.
Playboy.
Is for the classes. Sean Ryan is for the masses.
D, what title are you most proud of? Would it be restaurateur?
Greek
Restaurateur,
American, Brooklyn.
I haven't had really any titles.
podcast producer, like the things that
Baseball
you've done,
bat owner.
Definitely not restaurant owner, 'cause that's bullshit. I'd say podcast producer.
D used to own one of the finest wing joints I've ever
It's
been
still
to
there.
in
It's
my
still
life.
there.
Yeah, but it best wings in Brooklyn, New York. I mean, amazing wings.
I mean, it wasn't even me though. Like I just bought it from the guy who started
Still
it,
though.
but yeah, sick.
And but do you have one? Do you have like something that you like that if people were to like refer to you as that you take pride in?
Podcast producer.
Podcast
Yeah,
producer?
yeah.
Jack, what about you? Is there one of the like
Christian.
is there one of the titles
Dad.
that
Dad
whether it's
Christian.
Ranger, SF, Columbia grad, podcast host, like is there author, journalist?
I mean, dude, the thing, and this ruffles some feathers, but fucking Ranger Regiment
Well, look at
is
your email, like Jack Ranger, like
Yeah.
right? I mean, like
not
there.
hiding it, man. Like I think the Ranger Regiment is the shit. Special Forces, like I love Special Forces in a sense, but like it's like in a sense, you know. I think there are awesome teams. I think the team guys are outstanding, but like the institution or like the bureaucracy of Special Forces to me is a shit show. Like just a shit show. The 75th Ranger Regiment bureaucracy is rough, but it works. They're tough. They're tough. It's very tough.
It's also very
but it works.
streamlined. I don't know what the.
It's
the
very.
leader-
You're right.
I don't know what the bureaucracy
So,
of leadership.
Were you not expecting that in SF?
that's like a really on point comment that
Trevor is your brother.
you know the Ranger Regiment is like they kind of speak as one voice, whereas Special Forces, because of how it's organized, it's a much more individual thing. So
It's like SEAL teams for grown-ups.
it never speaks as one voice. How could it speak as one voice because of how it's organized, right? So that's one part of it. But yeah, I think like when you get into like the battalion and group level bureaucracy, it's like just gross. Yeah.
What do you think of like journalist, author, podcast host? Like, are there any of those that if you could have one of those post-military things on your gravestone or in your epitaph, like what would you like to be remembered as?
I mean, I don't really give a shit after I die. I mean, I think like legacy is something that's for rich people.
Let's get rich first.
Yeah, like blue collar dudes just work and die, and that's just how it is. So I don't really give a shit about that. But I mean, like the like Ranger Special Forces chapter of my life is over now. So I mean, now I'm writer, journalist. You know.
Yeah.
That's kind of it.
What title am I most proud of?
No. Stay on target.
I don't know because
No,
like
I think it's a
It's a fair question.
Yeah,
but
so they're there.
I've been exceptionally proud to be a part of like being a Marine, even though I was a Marine for a very short period of time. Like I
Yeah,
love
no, there's a juice there,
I love
dude.
that.
Yeah.
And I'm glad it was my first branch. Like it set me up for success everywhere else.
Ages what? 18 to 21?
19 to 20.
19 to 20.
And then and I was reservist. And then I loved being a corpsman. I loved being a Navy diver. Like I loved it. It's such a great job. Such amazing dudes. Like not special operations in the sense they're never gonna pick up a weapon, but fucking hard dudes that do a hard job.
Yeah.
And
I think it's an awesome. I think it's a. Kay, where you at? Great question, man. Great question.
I loved being a ranger. You know, I loved it. I loved being a sniper. You know, a sniper for me was more my personality than being on the line. And I was on the line for a year, but you know, it was more my personality. I loved, you know, working, you know, contracting for the government and stuff. Like, amazing. I think it's very easy to be humble when like everywhere I've been, whether it was Marine Corps, as a Navy diver, as a ranger, contracting, like no matter, like I've always been average. And you know, there are such peak performers in all of those fields that if you want to stay humble, get involved in something elite, and there will always be people that are better than you at, you know, like I had things that I was very good at, but amongst the like the broad expansive stuff.
What were those?
Planning.
If you were to have like truth serum, not be like humble in any way, planning, like what is? Tough to not to put him in a place where he's not humble is very difficult. Dave is humble as fuck, Kyle Smith just said.
Well, I like the question.
No, it's a meme.
Is DevGru any good? And I will reiterate my point that DevGru should be disbanded. My controversial
So
point.
the guys
Nice.
at DevGru are very good at their job.
Demon cleaner.
But Marsoc,
Delete
maybe
that demon cleaner. What if I take a massive shit?
maybe
right there
Marsoc
in your
could
nice
do their
desk?
job better than they can. Has anyone thought about this? Has anyone asked this question?
Have you guys heard Tim Kennedy is for the second time in his career getting reviewed? No, I haven't heard that.
I mean, I've heard like, I would accentuate that they are extreme rumors that is happening. But there's been rumors that they're trying to pull my tab. I mean, that has been around too. So
I'm worried my degree from Columbia will get pulled from the story that I told.
dude. But I mean, honestly,
Can they do that?
But honestly, who gives a fuck? I don't think they can pull a degree like, and they can't pull.
No, I think I heard a story where like if you apply to a bank and you lie about your GPA, or like years later.
That sounds like bullshit to me.
All right, I hope so.
That sounds like bull. Did
I
you
hope
lie
so.
about your GPA when you
I
applied to
know
a
I'm
bank?
super fucking honest about my GPA.
Wait, why is a bank checking your GPA?
No, but
Oh, is it John?
no, on camera I told
Oh.
the story about how I threatened my Iranian American
Oh, right.
professor with fucking a dungeon in
Yeah,
Egypt.
that's pretty bad.
Yeah, they might be like, but I feel like Columbia's got fucking more issues. Yeah,
I agree.
juggling right now.
Wona, I just don't trust. I wouldn't want my kids fighting worse.
Well, no, fucking figure out what a source handler is.
Hey, Wona, like
I don't do the fucking
our
OSINT for
our government, all governments are inherently untrustworthy. The thing is, though, is that kids who want to fight wars are
man.
they're gonna fight wars, and like when you
Shakespearean. I call
like
it
the best you
Shakespeare.
can do is educate your kids into knowing that they are going to be cogs in a wheel.
But here's the deal: what nobody talks about. A lot of us knew that, and we didn't fucking care because we wanted the juice.
Right.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
A lot of us knew that.
Yeah.
It's it's how the sausage gets made, and Yeah, you should, and I hope our podcast like kind of like brings some of that stuff to the forefront for young people who are thinking about signing up. But yeah, man, that archetype, the warrior archetype, is so strong that there are a lot of kids who are not going to resist it. And I was one of them, so I'm not here to shit talk.
It's anthropology.
Yeah, it is.
It's that like sometimes like the dude who can crack skulls, he gets the fucking hot chick in the village.
And to be honest, like if somebody is drawn to it and they don't do it, whether doing it or not doing it was the right decision for politics or anything
It's so
else,
funny, dude,
they'll
like-
live their life in regret for not having done it.
I've said this before, that I know of. 31 dudes have reached out to me since my interview and like, hey, I signed a contract based on this. So I mentor these guys. I talk to them. And one of the things that I say is like, dude, at the end of the day, you don't have to burn any fucking calories the rest of your life saying, you know what, I would have, but dot.
Or I wish I would have,
You know what I mean? Dot. Like, at the end of the day, like, there's a there.
Yeah.
When you cross that threshold, like, and that's the thing, maybe pivoting to the Malcolm thing, is like, there's a sacredness when you cross that threshold, like, maybe, like, time and space did not give you some fucking weird, sexy war. You know what I mean? Like, maybe you served in peacetime or whatever, but, like,
you did it.
At the end of the day, if 2 fucking planes landed in the towers, you would have been on the other side of the moon, like.
Taylor, go ahead.
Global Media Inc. says, perfect example of Jack's morality, willing to walk away from Reddit, which benefits
the fact that
his
he's doing
business.
the capitalization is he's a psycho.
If it's going to be spun into something different by others. Global Media, I have no idea what you're trying to say there, but I'm with you, man. I'm with you, bro. I'm totally down.
What was your
Brando says Dave's a fucking dude.
Yeah,
I totally agree. I totally agree.
Taylor, MOS, who are you talking to?
JP, I see that.
And
JP.
hold on, go back up. Who are you talking to, and which branch are you talking about? If it's me, actually, what were your MOSs?
I was 11 Bravo and 18 Bravo.
And what were your MOSs?
97 Bravo. It's now a 35 Lima.
I was an 0861 in the Marine Corps, which is basically a 13 Fox.
Engineering type shit, right?
No, artillery.
Artillery, yeah.
Artillery Scout Observer. I was in the Navy. I was an HM3 DV, NEC 8493, Army 11 Bravo, and then 11 Bravo.
Quick plug: Ryan Fugit's
And
episode
98 golf.
of Combat Story. You spill a little beans. You're famous for not spilling beans.
I still
Spilling
regret
the
that. I
tea.
still regret that.
Spilling the tea.
Yeah, no, you like ironically spill more tea by being famous for not spilling tea. But no, the Combat Story, Ryan Fugit.
That's
is how you
D's
pronounce
fault,
it.
man.
Getting you on there?
Yeah, I hate talking. Anyway.
No, Hawthorne effect. You'll interview an interviewee. Interviewer, you like?
I'll talk
Interviewer?
about movies and comics and bullshit all
you
day
guys,
long.
the whole thing started. All you guys wanted to do was talk about Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
That's it. Now you have fucking Jim Olsen. And Chris Miller sitting here.
Bob asks, any ghost stories or urban legends from your travels, deployments, or where you were stationed? I actually do have one, and I've had enough drinks that I'm prepared to tell it. But before I jump into it, do you guys have any you want to share?
Any ghost stories or urban legends from your travels, deployments? I have something. I was in Kunar, the Pest River Valley. Wes Morgan wrote a book about it. We had there was only 30 of us on this little fire base, so like we had to do guard duty, and we had thermo, and then what's the regular one? Night vision goggles, right? And there was like a wild pack of dogs. I don't know if it was hyenas. I don't know if it was wild dogs or whatever. To this day, I don't know. I know that hyenas will go as far as like that area, but to this day, I used to see like an algorithm of like 15 wild dogs or hyenas. I could never tell. So it's like in my own little urban legend. Were there hyenas in Kunar? That's the best I can do.
Jack?
So my ghost story. So this is a Ranger Battalion story. So you know it's gonna be nuts. And I'm gonna like go open kimono on this one.
Clip it.
The full frontal.
Yeah. So when I was in Ranger Battalion, when you live it's Columbus, Georgia. It's a very boring, uninteresting place. And you can go and get drunk and get into fights every week. But is there something else you could be doing? And my squad in the infantry found that there was something we could go ghost hunting.
That's
And
cool.
So we would go to like sites that were haunted or suspected to be haunted.
0% chance you've told the story before, by the way.
I don't think I've ever told this story
Absolutely fucking
before. About doing ghost hunting.
Vanguard material.
I had like an electromagnetic meter that could like, yeah, I still have it somewhere. And we would go to like graveyards and stuff like that. And then one time, me and several individuals who I will not name on this live stream went to an abandoned hospital in Columbus, Georgia.
The cult was probably strong there.
And we went out to that place, and we walked all around it in like surgery wards and stuff like that. It was crazy. And then
Did you see the one on Roosevelt Island here? The old
Yes,
yeah,
I know what you're
that's
talking
spooky
about.
too.
We went, and then we went down into the basement where there's the morgue, and we all got pictures of ourselves laying on the gurney, like, yeah. And as we're kind of like fucking around in the morgue, my buddy, who will remain unnamed, was standing in the doorway, and all of a sudden I see him like backpedal really hard and slam into the door, and I'm like, what the fuck? And he's like, like you tell him he's spooked, and he's like, I saw a guy, and I saw a guy walk, and so like if you went out the door from the morgue and looked to the right, there was like a T-junction, and he said he saw somebody walk from like left to right, and he had like a kind of a description like the guy wearing like a white jacket and had a ponytail on him, and he was totally adamant. Like like I saw someone, and like we walked through there. There's absolutely no one down there. So did he see a ghost? I don't know. But there's a follow. So there's a little bit more to this. There's a bit more to this story. So we're walking around this abandoned hospital, and we walking around, and a security guard pops out of nowhere. And is like, hey, what the fuck? What are you guys doing here? You need to go. And he calls us into like his office. And we go into his office. And I literally sat down.
Mini Sears School. This is like a mini Sears School.
I sat down in a chair.
A supernatural Sears School.
I sat down in a chair, just like I'm sitting now. And I'm like, okay. And I figured we're gonna get an ass chewing, right? Like, okay. I'm in a Ranger Battalion. I know how to take an ass chewing. Instead, he says, I'm calling the cops. And I was like, whoa, no, stop. No, you're not. You're not calling the cops. And so this like back and forth goes on. And I was like, listen, dude, I'm walking out of here.
Yeah.
And like I made it pretty clear to him, like, I'm walking out.
Yeah.
Am I being detained?
Yeah, you are not calling the cops on me. And this guy really wanted to play hardball with me, and there was 4 of us all together. And I'm like, no, that's not happening. And so, long story short, I had a physical altercation with this gentleman, and we ended up running the fuck out of there and having to like smash a window out and escape from this abandoned hospital. And we ended up running down the street and disappearing into the bushes as like all these cop cars came flying up the street towards the hospital, because obviously the guy that maybe something may have happened to was calling the police. And then we disappeared back into wherever we're gonna go.
So did that end your ghost hunting career?
Yes, it did, but it did not end my military career, much to the chagrin of many people out there. I continued, because I had passed SFAS at that point, and I was like, me and all my boys, like, we are not going to prison.
Yeah.
Like, no.
Yeah.
Full stop. That's not happening.
And even if you don't go to prison, like different times at battalion, they'll RFS you just for getting detained or just
Sure.
for
Yeah, sure.
just for interaction, especially if you've been drinking. If it's an alcohol related,
absolutely.
yeah.
And I was not drinking at the time, and none of us were. But there was a physical altercation during that event. So yeah, that's my haunted story. There it is for you guys.
Hey, Supra, good to see you, girl. We missed your message. You retracted it, but it's something about your son and going into soft. So, do you mind reposting that so we can read your statement?
Yeah.
You have great insight into this stuff. From they can pull degrees for plagiarism. Interesting. Well, I don't think that they do that though, because a lot of people have come out. I heard that after Melgar, they were looking at real hard at handing over Dev to the Marines. I don't know if the Navy would never approve. The Navy, the SEALs, the SEALs and fighters are like the two biggest recruiting tools for the Navy, and I doubt they would ever hand over.
Give it to the Marines.
Yeah.
Give it to the Marines.
Yeah, Joseph Campbell. I love Joseph Campbell.
Who's Joseph Campbell?
Joseph Campbell was a very famous author, philosopher, mythologist during like the 70s, 80s, 90s, I guess. He wrote the hero's journey, the hero with thousands faces, like a lot of stuff. But he really, so much of film and television now is based off of his model of the hero's journey. And, it starts out.
Is there an anti-hero element to the hero's journey?
Yeah.
I recognize Semper Fi EDC guy. He's an OG.
Really? Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, he's an OG.
Yeah.
You guys gotta remember, I'm a fan.
Project Pat. Is the difference being, Jack, your time in the Army was done and Tim is still in uniform. Yeah,
Jesus
he
Christ.
is.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's in the National Guard.
Why is he trying to make interesting? That makes it tough though. Like if you're gonna go out and say things about what you did, and
I
you're
will
still
say
active,
this, man. I do a lot of. I would never say fucking anything while I was on active.
Monkey Catapult episode. Oh, that was Javier. No.
You want here? Sit down. Have
was
it.
that Javier?
You're leaving?
Maybe you want to be famous?
Yeah, come here. Sit down. What's your name? Hi, I'm Dave.
That's Dave. He's a legend.
No. Hi. What's
Ghost Stories.
Vilma? Jack? Have a seat.
We've
Say
been-
hi to our.
No.
Oh.
You sit in that chair, you're gonna be famous.
The story about the strip club and the OC spray, that's not. I never got OC'd in the strip club. Would have been fun if I did.
Wait, Andrew, whose story
Best
is
job I've
that?
ever had.
Yeah, I don't-
Bouncer Underground Strip Club. Best job I've ever had.
Did you get OC'd at a strip club?
Brother, like you know that story's like you're about to you hit black guys coming from back ski trip. Your life flashes before you. I wanted to memories of Bouncer Underground Strip Club.
Taylor, tell the man to your right to grab a chair. Shit's weirding me out.
It's probably me before.
Is that you?
Probably.
Yeah, maybe D's.
happy
weirding
now,
you out.
Taylor?
Okay. I was in one of Saddam's big palaces in 2003 in the basement area. It's basically a labyrinth of dungeons. It was legit the spookiest shit ever. I believe.
I was at like ground minus 3 or 6 or something in Haditha Dam, and there were fucking bats flying everywhere.
Was Adam White's extra episode on Patreon is the best? Like,
The bonus segment?
do any of you have any idea
No
what we
clue.
talked
No
about? No,
clue.
neither do I, because it was so long ago. Dude, subscribe to our Patreon.
Yeah.
The link is right down, and you get access to all that insane shit. Let's see here. Talking about the dungeons, Jesus Christ.
Dave, have you ever been spooked diving? Yeah.
Good question.
We're doing a job. So I was on a ship based in Alameda, and we were doing, the dive jobs were ship's husbandry, and we were doing a dive job on a ship. So Alameda is like in the San Francisco Bay, and 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 the visibility was shit. The visibility was like, you know, a few inches or a foot or whatever. And all of a sudden I saw this face in front of me, and it threw me. I was like, there's a dead person down here. And then I kept looking, and it was a seal, like an aquatic seal, not a Navy seal. It was a seal. It was like face to face with me. But the eyes, even though like their eyes are dark, but there's something like face on, there's something so human about their face, but it freaked me the fuck out for a second. And I'm not like, I don't believe in like supernatural shit. Like I want to, I'd love to see something supernatural, but I never have. And so I don't believe. I don't disbelieve, I just don't believe. But it freaked me the fuck out. Yeah.
Sorry, I just got here. I was on a call with Human Intel Army.
Tell
guy.
Nance we said hi. Oh, he was Navy.
I love hearing stories about interviewing Saddam's underlings. I'll tell you what, Taylor. Blah 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 blah. Question for Adam. I'll get Adam on here in a second. Saddam was an absolute nut, but gotta give it to him. You gotta hand it to Saddam. Like really, guys, you gotta hand it to Saddam. That. Come on, man.
So no, but I will say that Saddam was a horrible fucking human being, but Iraq was stable when and Iran was neutralized while he was in power.
I understand, but you do not have to hand it to Saddam Hussein. He's a pretty terrible guy.
Peter Devins.
Hey, Jack. I'm gonna be hanging out here soon.
All right, man.
Catch you where I can.
Yeah,
Thanks
yeah,
for having
man.
me.
Thanks,
Great seeing
Tim,
you.
for coming out.
Go to the Explorers Club soon. Bo may stay.
Adam, I got a question for you.
Gotcha. No, I'm getting back in there.
Metatron, you were invited. Everybody's invited. Hey, see you, buddy.
Great to see you. Sorry to
Good
interrupt
seeing you,
the
man.
live show. Likewise. I'll see you soon. Come to the Explorers Club. He hasn't been yet, so. Yeah, I would love to come.
What led me to joining various branches, man? I have the worst ADHD, and I always want to know what's around the next corner. Like, it was just a burning curiosity. Like, when you hear everybody's the best, and also, like, there's a saying from Groucho Marx, right? That I would never be a member of any club that would have me as a member. So, you know, when you do something, you're like, oh, well, I did this. And if I can do it, anybody can do it. So, let me go find something that, I don't know. It was always just a curiosity about what was around the next
wonderful
corner.
woman putting up with all the
Yeah.
like this one
I
over
just
here
saw
putting
my
up
name.
with
Go-
all this
scroll up
shit.
there.
Wait, where was it?
There's an Adam question.
Is in the house. This is it. Oh yeah. So anybody, Gunner, is an artist. He's got some super cool, very intricate, very interesting art.
Where can we find him? Let's give him a plug.
Yeah. Gunner, he's a diehard
Right here.
fucking Team House guy. He was affected by the Hurricane Helene in Asheville.
Okay.
Gunner's Gunner. He's named after like a fucking Marine Corps dude. Gunner's the guy. Yeah, Gunner's the guy. All right, what do we got?
Adam, how does life and the mission differ as a 35 Lima in the 75th? Is it CI investigation specific to SOCOM members like Peter Devins type guys?
Okay,
Peter Devins is in prison right now.
Yeah,
I
so
think.
just a hot take. I'm tipsy. This is super after hours. I have a German Shepherd. I love German Shepherds. I love Huskies. But if you've ever seen a mix of a German Shepherd and a Husky, it doesn't look right. Like a German Shepherd is better as a German Shepherd. A Husky is better as a Husky, right? A lot of dudes in the Team House kind of ecosystem or whatever will reach out to me and they're like, hey, you know, they're thinking that it's the best of both worlds to be a CI dude in the 75th. Bro, be a CI dude in a CI unit. Like,
Yeah.
don't be a CI dude in the 75th.
Yeah.
Like, and one second, like, riff for a second, like, this is super biased, but, like, part of the MI creed is, like, always hit silent war while ready for a shooting war. Like, special operations is super sexy when at war. CI is kind of in perpetuity sexy.
Right.
You can do sexy shit in war, you can do sexy shit in peacetime, and there may be fucking one or two MOSs out of 216 that could do sexy shit in peacetime.
I'll tell you one of the things that like
So the 75th, like, so I think it's like a started, but like the whole, I want to be an MI guy in the 75th. No, be an MI guy in some weirdo nook fucking cranny CI unit in Germany that's doing bang bang beat 'em up fucking real life shit now.
Right.
Don't wait
for
good
the
initiative. Good initiative, bad judgment.
Don't wait for the deployment cycle.
Yeah, good initiative, bad judgment. And the other thing is like super riffing on my guitar here. I was never a CI dude in the 75th, but I don't think that CI dudes in the 75th are allowed to like totally fucking flap their wings in the way that like CI dudes need to do. I feel like they're like, hey, you're able to grow this hair out because you never forget you're a ranger.
You're in support of the mission.
Correct. Yeah, and it's like in a weird way, that's counterproductive.
Yeah.
Let these guys fucking drop acid, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
Guys,
I hope that answers your question. You appreciate, you understand. I
it's-
speak weird, but like you understand my answer there, right?
It's 1:10 in the morning. I'm going to try to get through these last comments, and perhaps we should wind this thing down. I love the idea of Jack not giving a F in the face of the paranormal, but will also be concerned about discipline in the Ranger Regiment, which is a fair question, I suppose. What else? Do we have any questions here?
We'll share that with them later, but since last February.
I've been reading about Joe Teddy's shenanigans in SF.
That's awesome.
This guy's been reading about Joe Teddy's shenanigans in SF.
Jim B.
How common were dudes like that when you were in? Comments, Mr. Park?
About Joe Teddy?
I don't know. You say what you want to say.
Joe Teddy shenanigans.
V, you okay, babe?
Joe Teddy shenanigans.
Adam White's Patreon is the best. Confirmed.
No, we talked about master armed robbery.
I honest to God cannot remember what we talked about.
Bro, neither can I. So this is super. If anybody's here now, they're super Patreon. Earmuffs, film it. I was so drunk after that, I took a fucking Uber. And she's now listen, I can't say. Hang on. I'm trying to get the guys juice.
Drunk. Well, you guys smoked a little bit of the
wacky
tobacco
The wacky tobacco
on the show.
Oh yeah, that happened.
No, there was a
What's up,
15-minute period where Jack was Lucy, this guy with diamonds, and then you did come back.
This one guy, Kyle Smith, says, Jack, what were you most excited about to include in your new book? And dude, that's like an impossible question to answer.
This new one, dude, sounds amazing. It's almost like, as a journalist or writer, it's kind of like a dream job.
It is. It's a passion project.
I'm going to ask you a question, but I also want to ask it during the interview. But I'll ask it now because people are with us. What was the biggest revelation to you? Because you were already familiar with all these projects. But was there any one fact that actually blew you away?
That's tough, man. I mean, because like in some sense, like I was learning so much. So that like these Detachment A guys had these like sabotage missions, and they were gonna like throw pieces of they were like C4 explosives disguised as like pieces of coal, and they're gonna throw them into like train engines. Like all that was surprising. I think maybe the most shocking part of the book for me personally was the green light program. And not that they're gonna jump behind Soviet lines, like I got that.
With these Manpat nukes.
But they had targets in like Panama, North Korea, Cuba. Like they had all these targets, like to shut off these like choke points around the world.
Mm-hmm.
That
it was a supply chain attack in a way also.
Yeah, that their mission was to like shut off parts of the world if the balloon went up.
Yeah.
And I think that was maybe the most surprising or shocking part of it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think it'll be really interesting to see how readers respond to it.
So soup to nuts, how long did the project take you? Like, you must have started years ago, right?
Like 10 years.
Wow, that's awesome.
Like working on and off of it.
I like Shane Gillis.
So yeah, Project Expat. Did you clear the haunted prison with the Ranger Regiment? No, sir. No, I did not. That was a renegade operation out there.
Bro, do these people know about how you snuck into Syria and interviewed Bashar al-Assad?
Maybe not.
How are indigenous forces hired and vetted? Is it CI's job?
I'll kind of answer this in a bit. Like, one of the things that I did when I was in Afghanistan is I would do job interviews for I'm forgetting the acronym now. LPNs, locally employed personnel.
TCNs. Third country nationals.
So like, one story when I was in Kunar, I interviewed like 30 dudes for the Afghan security guard, and like all of them were from Marwara. That's a problem because what it does is it gives like the commander of that unit too much power. If he says, you know what, fuck it, I don't like those terms, he will take off with all of his guys because they're all from his village and his tribe. So with the Indige, you want them, at least from my very narrow experience hiring Indians, you don't want them all from like the same tribe or the same neighborhood. You want them kind of peppered out and have loyalty to that institution in and of itself versus the tribe or the fucking town they're from.
Fellas, I'm gonna try to shut down the live stream. I'm gonna ask like the Mad Minute questions here. Favorite comedians?
Shane Gillis currently.
Man, I love Theo and Burr. There are so many Chappelle. Like there's so many good comedians out there.
I like. It's been a while since I've caught up with him. Cat Williams is awesome.
Cat Williams.
Tim Dillon.
Okay, yeah. Oh, Tim Dillon. Yep. Tim Dillon, Shane Gillis, Cat Williams for me. Yeah.
This one guy says, "You cocksuckers killed Kennedy," and I assure you, none of us were the shooters on the grassy knoll. Dave, have you ever been back to get Chinese hot pot? And if so, did you do it correctly with rice this time?
I have been back for hot pot, and I just went to a hot pot from a different region of China that doesn't like feed babies fucking hot peppers from the time they're out of the womb. Like, you have to know which region of China the hot pot originates from. And yes, I will get rice if I ever go back to that place.
Happy birthday, Kyle. Tomorrow is his birthday.
Oh. We just need Adam's show where he toasts the devil's cabbage and tells stories. It'd be bigger than Sean Ryan.
It's on our podcast.
Sean Ryan's fucking lame and gullible.
It's out there,
Sean
man.
Ryan is lame and gullible.
I don't know Sean. Sean seems like a lovely human being.
He seems lame and gullible.
I am pleased to see the success of other veterans in any space.
Andrew says, were they going to hit the canal?
I thought that was you.
Maybe he's talking about the Panama Canal. Yes. They were.
And Supra, you retracted another question or statement that we didn't see. Too hot on the retractions.
Yeah, hack your audio book. I figured meeting Assad to be more like the dictator without the beard. I don't know what that means, really.
Foreign unit to work with non-injured. I don't know. My experience, Americans were
That
fucking
Adam,
doing everything.
the Lafroy fund. Thank you, man. We don't have any Lafroy tonight. We're drinking Japanese whiskey.
Foreign unit to work with? I don't think I've ever worked with foreign units. I'm trying to think.
Simplify ADC.
I think you have.
I'm telling you, dude. The cult classic.
All right. Look, we're getting towards the
It's up above?
We're
Hold on.
getting towards the end.
Let me see here, Supra. They're both retracted.
Yeah, they keeps deleting their messages.
Oh, my advice with my son joining SOF as a career. Don't glorify serving as it may lead our kids to seek our approval. That's a good point. Like, that's a very good point, that if you glorify SOF, then your kids may not be naturally inclined to it, but they may be going into it in order to get your approval. Find mentors that have been there before, and I know you've done that for with your son. With the what's the program that you sent your son to? She sent her son to like, it's a really good program, but it's working with like soft guys prepping him for like SFAS and everything.
SRS went off the rails when he started putting 9/11 truthers.
No, Bill Burr. No, Taylor.
No, I said Burr.
Yeah, Dave said Bill Burr.
I said
Bill Burr is awesome.
Yeah, I said
Yeah,
Burr.
He's great.
A lot of them are Boston guys.
Chappelle, Theo Von. Yeah. But
Theo
Boston,
Von's, dude, I love him. Talk about LSD and being weird. I really love Theo Von. He's doing a different, his brush strokes are different.
he is
His brush
just,
strokes are different.
he's just such a like lovely human being.
So there's like an air of, okay, so do you think it's super genuine, or is there an air of like Ollie G to him where he plays the
I don't think so. I could
Huckleberry
be.
Finn
I could be
and
wrong.
It extracts like,
I could be wrong. Like I've never like listened to his podcast, just some of his comedy. I think that he's genuinely like a good person. And not
Yeah.
saying that Burr and Chappelle aren't good people, but
no,
I
the
think
secret is there's no secret.
I just think that he's like a very genuine,
Yeah.
like lovely.
Guys,
I don't like
this
Colin
is-
Quinn.
So calm athlete.
This is a great like final question. What are your reflections on 2024 on life, the team house, whatever?
Shall I drop it? For the,
Yeah.
you want,
Adam, go ahead. Do whatever you got to say.
there's a beautiful woman over there that's got
Yeah?
a little fucking homie.
Yeah.
We got
No,
I'm
you're
gonna be a
that?
dad.
A
For the
little
first
homie?
time.
Your life is about to change.
Yeah. So
dramatically.
2020. Yeah.
You heard it here
Dramatic.
first.
You have no idea
Yeah.
what you're in for, bro.
Yeah. Abu. I don't know the name.
But in a good way.
Yeah,
In a
yeah,
good
yeah.
way.
So
Adam White is starting a fire team.
Yeah.
You heard it here first. Breaking news.
Anything else about 2024?
Reflections.
I've done some super cool shit. Like we've talked about it kind of tangentially, whatever. But I work with Mike Edwards. We do some fucking cool shit here and there.
What are you guys doing? Tell us about it.
So
Is it a business you want to plug or something?
we do the Kingsman, which is like literally like applying our skills to try and help rescue mostly women, and then kind of bodyguard shit. Like yeah.
Okay.
But no. Yeah, I'm gonna be a dad. Every once in a while. Yeah, I'm gonna hang out with the Theo team. Thank you, Taylor.
That's really sweet. Jack, what are your reflections on 2023?
I think that overall this has been a really good year. I think
Thank you,
it is-
JP.
I think it's been the best year for the team house. The people that we had on the show were incredible. I don't want to like get into like ranking episodes or the folks that we have on the show, but like 2024.
It was a banner year.
I talk about
strong.
milestones.
It was strong.
Like the
It was
Chris
strong.
Miller thing for me was big. One thing I'll kind of riff for a second. One of the reasons that you get the guests that you do is people look to their left and their right and they're like, wow, these guys safeguarded my narrative. They didn't fuck, like, you know what I mean? Like, Mike Edwards, first dude from RRC. Adam Wall, first dude to write a book about you know what. But you guys, because you're from the community, you guys inherently are gentle with people's narratives.
Yeah.
So people are they have more. They're more apt to come on because you guys are from the community. There's no weird soundbite or selling fucking laundry detergent or fucking somebody over.
Well, we are selling laundry detergent, by
Whatever,
the way,
but you guys are from the
If there are
community.
any laundry detergent companies out there that want to sponsor us, please reach out. But no,
we are selling body deodorant.
The
but
other
yeah, you're
thing
right.
though is I get what you're saying that Jack and I have a lot of insider knowledge.
So,
And we
dude,
would never
I'll share
betray
for real.
somebody's trust.
I'll share for real. I had never been, when I did my interview, episode 78, I had never been on camera before. I had never fucking done an interview before. I stumbled, I stuttered. You could have, specifically you, Dave, you could have embarrassed me 19 times.
No.
But you didn't, and you let me, and ultimately I settled, and I was able to say some shit that, you're not gonna fucking hear Tim Kennedy say.
Yeah.
Nooks and crannies and fucking facts that you're not gonna hear Malcolm Nance, and Tim Kennedy say.
Yeah.
And I'm super grateful because you're from the community.
That's a hell of a grouping.
Redacted says, can we talk about Tim Kennedy, please? We already covered that. I'm not going to go back to that. Super says, I'm about to pass out. You're probably right. But Dave, 2024 reflections. Anything that you want to say to people?
I'm just continually humbled and honored by the fact that people are willing to come on and share what they share. And I know people go on other podcasts and tell their story, but I feel as though when people come on our show that not everybody, because not everybody's there and not everybody has stuff, but people are willing to open up and not just tell their story, but talk about their journey, both during their service or service, whether it's sorry, our screen just went out. Their military service, their intelligence career, whatever, their process as a writer, it doesn't matter. But they're willing to be vulnerable. And they're not just being vulnerable to us, they're being vulnerable in front of thousands.
It's actually not easy to do.
Of people,
It's not easy to make it interesting, to not sell the farm. It's a very tough wave. That crest is very tough to serve.
It is.
It's actually not easy to do this shit.
It's quite intimidating, and for people, there are certain veterans in the space that have been interviewed a million times, but there are also people who they have never been on camera before.
Yeah, and I joked before, you guys pop cherries. Obviously, that's absurd, a bit
but
vulgar.
It's true.
The juice is, dude. I will never truly do another interview again. The juice is letting it fly and talking to your buddies on a Friday night about what you're forgetting the cameras or whatever.
Yeah.
That's the juice, man.
That was our intent the whole time. It's why we drink, and not always, but it's why we drink. We've always wanted this just to be an informal. Let's get to know you, and to be able to facilitate that, I don't know. I'm just constantly humbled and honored that people, so many cool people, so many people with amazing stories, are willing to come on and do that. I'm humbled.
But you guys do a really good job of safeguarding people's narratives. For people, it's a bottle of wine that they haven't opened for 50 years. No, seriously.
Sometimes that's true.
No, it's from an individual's perspective. They've been waiting their entire life to pop this bottle.
I get it.
Right? And you're not on your phones as they pop the bottle, or you guys do a great job of being present and understanding the sacredness of this dude has never fucking told this story before.
Right.
Yeah. It's. You're absolutely right. That there's a certain something to that this person has been holding on to this story.
It's a bottle in there for 50 years.
Exactly. They've been holding on to it for 50 years.
People are. I use that as an analogy. I think it's a great analogy. They're popping open a bottle of whiskey or a bottle of wine that for 40 years has
held on to.
Marinated.
Yeah.
And you guys don't fuck people when they do that. And that's why Chris Miller and fucking Jim Olsen, et cetera, come on.
No, it's like I said, I'm just always grateful. I'm always humble. And I appreciate people being patient with my, the rabbit holes, the questions that I ask, because, they're dumb.
No, they're not.
But
they're nuanced.
But I'm okay with with that. I'm okay with being
I have a weird analogy. My experience operationally was in the Middle East. I learned about the Quran, but the Hadiths, right?
Right.
There's 1 billion Hadiths, but there's
Right.
only 2 that are recognized. It's Muslim and Bukhari or something like that. 100 years from now, you guys are going to be one of the only recognized Hadiths.
I hope so.
But you know that analogy.
I
You
get
know
it.
that analogy.
The Hadiths are they're
Like
the
there's 1,000 of them.
Yeah.
There's 1,000 podcasts.
Yeah.
But when the dust settled, there's only gonna be 2 that are like, that's absolutely everything in this body is authentic.
Yeah, I hope so.
All right, Benjamin.
Let this
did we-
guy go to
did
bed.
we ever find?
Let him go to
did,
bed.
Did we ever find out the price of the giraffe?
30,000.
It was like $36,000.
30,000. Yeah. 36.
Watch JT Patton's episode.
Yeah.
JT
check it
Patton, and it's a great episode even outside of the black market giraffe prices.
So, guys, thank you for joining us. I think it's about time to close out the live stream after 3 hours.
Probably more than that.
Final thoughts from you guys? Anything you want to say?
So Jim Olson has his 10 commandments. I have my 4. For anybody interested in CI, I have 4. Stay curious. Stay physically fit. You are always on an interview. Carve your own path. Those are my 4 things.
I'll say something about CI real quick that I noticed when I was in the Army National Guard prior to the GWAT. That you had, and this before I was a Ranger. You had, you think of SOF and you think of all these cool things that, if you want to be a door kicker, whatever. But when I would look at what was the thing, the list that comes out pulling individual reservists for special duties for like a 3-month or 6-month period. Do you remember
Like
that term?
TASER or something?
I can't.
I don't know. You talking an acronym?
But it was a thing that, like, if you were a reservist and wanted to be a guard bum or reserve bum at the time, because a lot of us gone to the guard, but if you wanted to be a reserve bum and you wanted these opportunities to go on active duty for cool little projects, it was always CI. It was always
Brother,
it was
if you stay
always
curious
CI.
and if you stay physically fit,
Yeah.
in wartime or in peace, you can do fucking bang bang beat 'em up shit.
Yeah,
You
CI
can do
CI is an
crazy shit.
amazing and
Stay curious, stay physically fit.
undersold field for sure. So, all right, everybody. Merry Christmas. I know it's early.
Merry
so.
Christmas. Happy
happy
Kwanzaa.
Wait, just celebrate Christmas 2 weeks later? Fucking middle of January?
Happy Hanukkah.
Dimitri, you're Orthodox. When do you celebrate Christmas?
You know, some of the guys said,
What's
girl and I,
that?
we're literally going out after this.
These guys are being racist towards Greek
Yeah.
Racist.
No, I'm being super racist right
Let me
now.
clarify some things.
Okay.
So, I think Greek Orthodox actual Easter is July 1st. January 1st.
No, can you read it? Oh, congrats to the bun in the oven?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I am an American, and I celebrate Christmas on December 25th.
Yeah, so there's your daily dose of Brooklyn racism for you.
What are you're the racist.
I am
Brooklyn
racist.
racism,
I am
that's
racist.
very nuanced.
But I think Constantinople is Greece. So I have there's some nationalism involved. Yeah.
And if you got, guys, guess what? The Turks are going to get the fuck out of Cyprus. You better believe it.
Yeah.
All right?
Fuck. I'm trying to think of that song. What was that old song?
Dude, it's their race war.
Winded.
They have this fucking race war going on. Whenever I can introduce like Greeks to Kurds, it's like an amazing moment of like we're completing the circle. But thank you everybody who joined in tonight to the drunken stupidity, and I'm gonna kill this live stream.